through to the last 16. So the three changes for Villa see Ian Maatsen, John Duran dropped to the bench. Leon Bailey's not involved tonight. Matty Cash and Luca Dean come in. We think they're going to play the wing-back roles with the three centre-backs here, and Ollie Watkins has come in for John Duran. So it's Emi Martinez in goal, Konza, Torres and Diego Carlos as the three centre-backs, Matty Cash and Luca Dean as the wing-backs. Boubacar Kamara, we were just talking about him doing that oh-so-important role, protecting the defence in that holding midfield position. Then you've got John McGinn, the skipper, Yuri Tielemans and Morgan Rogers with Ollie Watkins through the middle. Ollie Watkins, by the way, Paul, who's yet to score in the Champions League this season, yet to score in the Champions League in his career. Now, John Duran has done that for Aston Villa in this campaign. Watkins will be desperate to get himself a Champions League goal, won't he?
Well, he's a top scorer for Villa, isn't he, John Duran, in the Champions League? And he's unfortunately getting that tag of super sub, which no player wants. I think he's really, really important to the way that Villa play. I mean, we don't call them substitutes now, do we? We call them finishers. That's probably the role that Unai Emery's selling it to him. Obviously signed a new contract, staying at the club, but how long is he going to be happy playing that role? As we said before, he alluded to the potential of maybe playing them both together, but he never does.
Aston Villa in dark blue kit, and just seen the close-up on the TV monitor with a sort of white horizontal pinstripe across it. Blue shorts, white numbers on those, dark blue socks as well, and Leipzig pretty much all in white with a little bit of red trim. This stadium has red and white everywhere. Even the goal nets are striped in red and white colours, and the seats in this stand are really interesting as well. Really sort of tall, stiff back, like office chairs.
It was a steep climb, wasn't it? Very, very vertical.
Right, we're underway. I'll give you the Leipzig team in a second. They've lost all 5 games in the Champions League so far. Pau Torres is on the ball for Villa, and it looks like he is the left of the 3 centre-backs. Diego Carlos as the central one, Ezri Konza on the right. Here's Torres, plays across to Dean. Dean in the left-back position for Villa, curls a ball down the left-hand touchline. Watkins collects, lays it off to Rogers. Nice build-up play from Villa early on here. Rogers with the bright peroxide hair tries to sweep a pass across field. Was looking for the run down the right of Matty Cash. The pass didn't find him, and Leipzig start to build and move into the Villa half. And here's an early chance. Šeško with the left-footed drive. The angle was tight, he was off balance, and it's gone wide of the target. Paul Robinson.
Yeah, that's a warning shot for Villa, and it shows you how good Šeško is, playing on the shoulder of those 3 centre-halves. It's a ball slipped down the side of Šeško. He's strong, keeps himself onside, reads it really well. 12 yards out on the angle of the 6-yard line. Poor finish from him.
Šeško is written Sesko, S-E-S-K-O, but I'm told it's pronounced Šeško, sort of a la Sean Connery back in the day, Paul.
You did have your German lesson in the press room earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, checked out on all the pronunciations. Here's Rogers, nice bit of skill inside his own half, tackled as he tries to make his way down the right. Aston Villa win an early throw. So Liverpool, top of the table, 6 wins out of 6. Mo Salah's penalty getting the win against Girona in our earlier commentary in the Champions League. Dinamo Zagreb 0, Celtic 0. Celtic 17th place in this table. They are a point and a place above Manchester City, who play against Juventus tomorrow. We've got full commentary on that one. Emi Martinez, cool as you like, inside his 6-yard box. Passes out to Pau Torres, shuffles forward to the edge of the Villa box, plays it into the midfield to Yuri Tielemans. Tielemans surrounded by opposition players in the white shirts. Torres slides a pass forward. McGinn first time, clips it onto Luca Dean. Acrobatic backheel pass from him infield. That's intercepted. Here's Haidara for Leipzig in central midfield. And Zeifeld, who's the midfielder currently playing at centre-back. I mean, Leipzig have real injury problems at the moment. He clears for Leipzig downfield. The ball is bouncing inside the Leipzig half. Pushed forward there by Kamara. Rogers with a dribble. Did well to keep his balance. Heavy tackle on him. He comes back to Tielemans. Tielemans finds Cash on the corner of the Leipzig penalty area. Thinks about trying to go on the outside. Back onto his left foot. Crossing to the near post. Watkins heads down. And Aston Villa have the lead. Sweet finish from John McGinn. Matty Cash took his time with the cross, floated it to the back post. Watkins with the knockdown, and Aston Villa fans delirious in Leipzig. Super start, McGinn's goal. It's Leipzig 0, Aston Villa 1.
I was just going to say how well Aston Villa have started this game. Comfortable in possession, the build-up play has been excellent, but that move was absolutely brilliant. Lovely cross into the box, set back by Ollie Watkins. Really clever header at the far post. It all starts with Morgan Rogers in the middle of the park. Breaks the play down, finds Tielemans, puts it out to the right-hand side. Matty Cash in that wing-back role. Clever takes on the player, cuts back on his left foot. He just stands it up to the far post. Ollie Watkins completely unmarked. John McGinn ghosts into the box, nobody picking him up. Tough finish, half volley, right foot, 6 yards out. 1-0 to Villa.
RB Leipzig, Paul, are having a terrible time in the Champions League this season. They've had some tough games and they've got massive injury problems. That looked way too easy to score for me. That is a well-worked goal by Aston Villa, but Troida just basically watched Watkins back off him and nod the ball down for McGinn.
They didn't help themselves there, did they? Both Ollie Watkins and John McGinn completely unmarked in the box. Lovely play by Villa. I mean, you can pick the bones out the defending, you can unpack that all day long. There was no marking, there was no following runners, but from an Aston Villa point of view, lovely ball in by Matty Cash. Very, very clever header by Ollie Watkins. Many would have gone for the target. Many strikers would have looked at it, going to try and score. He doesn't. Sets John McGinn up for a lovely finish, and it's a great start for Villa.
Yeah, so John McGinn's goal in the 3rd minute of the game has Aston Villa leading by a goal to nil. I can see Bayern Munich are behind early on, away to Shakhtar Donetsk. Shakhtar Donetsk 1, Bayern Munich 0, and Sporting 1 up away to Club Brugge. Villa with some defending to do now. The ball bounces inside their penalty area. Diego Carlos clears it with his right foot. It's headed forward there by Arthur Vermeeren for Leipzig, and behind for the goal kick to Aston Villa. Let's give you this Leipzig team then, with Aston Villa leading them by a goal to nil inside this very impressive arena. Petr Gulacsi is the goalkeeper, once of Liverpool, although never made a first-team appearance for them. Benjamin Henriks at right back. Nicholas Zijvalt alongside Willy Orban, the experienced Hungarian international, at centre-back. Geertruida is the left back as Aston Villa build again down the left-hand side. The remainder of that Leipzig team: Christoph Baumgartner, Arthur Vermeeren, Amadou Haidara and Antonio Nusa make up their midfield 4, and then Benjamin Šeško and Lois Openda are the 2 strikers for Leipzig, who find themselves behind early on at home. Paul Robinson.
They're really riddled with injuries as well, aren't they? You look at the manager, Marco Rose, you look at what he's got to choose from. He's actually only named 7 substitutes at the moment. Had a good win at the weekend against Holstein Kiel, 2-0 away. Eintracht Frankfurt in the cup game. That's the 2 wins that they've picked up of late. Their form's been poor. This is a game that they obviously need to win for the Champions League qualification. But like, as I say, in the same way that Villa's form has dipped, that they're still competing in the Bundesliga 4th, but they've both picked up results in recent weeks.
Emi Martinez all in light blue for Aston Villa, having a bit of fun with the ball at his feet just outside the penalty area. Passes across to Diego Carlos. Konza, nice disguise on the pass to Tielemans, striding forward inside the Villa half. Watkins lays it off. You can see the confidence that Aston Villa are playing with here. And then Matty Cash tries to get away down the right-hand side. Willy Orban nips in and knocks the ball out for a throw-in to Villa on the right.
They look good, Villa. I know it's very, very early stages, but this shape, the 3 at the back, and the full-backs, though, the wing-backs, call them what you like, Luca Dean, Matty Cash, they're giving them so much width, which is creating the space in the middle of the park.
Ball up towards Ollie Watkins. It does stick eventually for Villa. Luca Dean slips slightly there. He's tackled, but the ball goes out for a Villa throw on the left-hand side. Only goal in the Championship so far is Stoke City's early one away to Luton. Luton 0, Stoke 1. 8 o'clock kickoff tonight is Leeds against Middlesbrough. The other 6 games have kicked off at 7:45, and there's Watkins trying to slide a pass through. Rodgers looking for Watkins, couldn't quite find him. Here's Tielemans. Tielemans into central midfield there. Finds Kamara. Kamara's involved again. Just sweeps a low pass out with his right foot to Matty Cash. Giant red and white flags waving amongst the Leipzig fans away to our left, but Villa are playing really fluently here. Here's Dean on the left-hand side. Ball into the near post, and Watkins very nearly stuck it away. Kept it on the right by Cash. He got a cross in to the near post. Tielemans now chests the clearance down. Down to the byline he goes. He tries to get a cross in. That's blocked, and it goes behind for an Aston Villa corner. They've made a terrific start here.
RB Leipzig are all over the shop, defending-wise. Villa are picking them apart at will. Again, it's the left-hand side. It's Luca Dean that time. And watching the replay, Ollie Watkins should score. It's a beautiful ball across by Luca Dean. Feeds it across that 6-yard box. Ollie Watkins just misses his kick 2 yards from goal.
So Aston Villa corner. Played 8 minutes. They lead by a goal to nil. John McGinn with it. Corner will come in from the right. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger. And John McGinn is waiting to take. And we've seen some clever set-piece work from Aston Villa in this competition so far this season. McGinn holds both arms aloft. He's away to our left. He's a tiny little speck in that dark blue Villa kit. Takes a short one, gets the ball back. McGinn barging his way to the edge of the box, hits a curling shot over the bar. Off target and behind for the goal kick.
Not sure that was planned, that set play. I think it was a little bit more off the cuff. They had something planned, but I think it went wrong. They got the short corner closed down. Noosa went out to John McGinn, takes it outside him, manages to get his shot away, but to no avail.
Luton equaliser, so 2 early goals in that game. Luton 1, Stoke City 1, Carlton Morris with the equaliser. Leipzig have taken their goal kick. They've gone long downfield. The ball is headed straight up in the air by Šeško. But Aston Villa have won it back. And Ezri Konsa just side foots a pass back to his goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, who is all in light blue. So this is second Champions League commentary of the night on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Girona 0, Liverpool 1 earlier on. Ian Dennis and Stephen Warnock brought you that one. Tomorrow night, John Murray and Pat Nevin in Turin. We've got full commentary of Juventus against Manchester City. We will, of course, keep you updated on Arsenal against Monaco as well. And then Thursday night, Rangers against Tottenham in the Europa League, which should be an absolute cracker. Aston Villa patiently knocking the ball around just outside their own penalty area. Coming up to 10 minutes played in the first half. Emi Martinez drives it forward now with his right foot. Watkins is trying to run away from his man, but that ball is intercepted by Geertruida.
I know we're only 10 minutes into the game, but they really have started well, Villa. They look very impressive, very comfortable, confident on the ball, playing out from the goalkeeper. Emi Martinez setting off the moves, 2 wing-backs pushing on, creating space. They've started very, very confidently.
There's Vermeeren playing back to Willy Orban, the hugely experienced centre-back for Leipzig. So having lost all 5 games in the group so far, have to win tonight, Leipzig, already a goal down against Aston Villa. And guess who scored for Real Madrid away to Atalanta this evening? Atalanta 0, Real Madrid 1, Kylian Mbappe with the goal in the 10th minute, and Konrad Leimer's equalised for Bayern Munich as well. Shakhtar Donetsk 1, Bayern Munich 1. Right, they've given the ball away, Leipzig. Here's Rodgers, received it from Watkins. Stinging low shot is saved by the goalkeeper, Gulacsi, all in bright yellow away to our left. And he picks the ball up and walks out towards his penalty spot. We've got reporters at a couple of championship games tonight. Burnley against Derby is one of them. The latest from Chris Coles.
26 minutes in, Burnley 0, Derby 0. Rather surprisingly, Derby are dominating possession, looking very comfortable, but Burnley have had the best chances. Josh Brownhill and Jeremy Sarmiento, 2 good chances, 2 good saves from Zetterstrom in the Derby goal. Burnley 0, Derby 0.
Aston Villa leading Leipzig by a goal to 0, putting pressure on Leipzig inside their own half. They've managed to win a free kick as well as Leipzig were trying to play out. Kamara is caught, so Villa will get the free kick. The 8 o'clock kick-off in the Championship tonight. Mike Maine's watching this one. This is Leeds against Middlesbrough.
Yeah, and goalless, but Leeds looking sharp. Middlesbrough sat in defensive. Daniel Farke's side are quick with the press. Few chances that look promising for them as well, but for one reason or another haven't quite materialised on testing Seny Dieng. Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 0.
Champions League table as it stands, thanks to the early goal here for Aston Villa, has Aston Villa in 3rd spot. Win tonight will put them on 13 points with 2 games to play, looking to try and finish inside that top 8 to take themselves automatically through to the last 16. Rodgers runs over the ball, just touches it to McGinn. McGinn slides a little past to Dean. Dean curls a ball down to Rodgers, who is so easy to spot even from this distance with that bright yellow hair.
He's the only one that is, isn't he?
Dean inside the penalty area, battles for a 50-50. He's lost that one, and Leipzig just hack the ball away, and it's gone out for a throw-in wide on the left in an attacking position for Aston Villa, who started really well in this game. 12 minutes in, Leipzig 0, Villa 1, John McGinn with the goal.
Yeah, I like the formation that he's set them out in tonight. Unai Emery below us, you can pick him out pacing up and down his technical area. Another set play for Villa. They've got a throw in deep in the Leipzig half. Leipzig have started really poorly. The spaces in between the midfield, the defence, Aston Villa have been able to exploit with John McGinn in there, Tielemans. Morgan Rodgers has linked the play so well.
It's Paul Robinson with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Throw in for Villa in this changed blue kit with the white horizontal pinstripe across it. On the ball inside the centre circle is Konsa. Diego Carlos just drops in behind him. Villa quite happy to let Leipzig come towards them. We're watching these little specks of footballers from high up in the top of this RB arena, and Emi Martinez just wants to draw these Leipzig players towards and then passes the ball to his right-hand side. Goal at Leeds, Mike Maine.
I said Leeds were on top. They've scored 1-0. They lead over Middlesbrough. Cross came in from the right from Dan James. I do not know what Seny Dieng was doing. He spilled the ball right into the path of Willy Gnonto, who said thank you very much, and somehow hit it against the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. Leeds 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Good move building for Aston Villa here in Germany. Watkins plays the ball back to the edge of the box. Tielemans, low shot, drags it just wide. Tried to fool the keeper there, whipped it across him, low to the left-hand side, and Gulacsi was just able to watch it bobble wide of his right-hand post. Good move, good chance, Paul.
They've done everything right again. John McGinn links up with Luca Dean down that left-hand side, plays it into Ollie Watkins, attracts the two central defenders, turns, lays it to the edge of the box to Yuri Tielemans, and that can only be described as a really poor strike. You can see what he's doing. He's trying to give the goalkeeper the eyes, and he's trying to close his foot on it, snap it down into the near post, gets it all wrong.
Leipzig fans away to our left, waving the giant flags and making a lot of noise. There's quite a lot of empty seats away to our right-hand side, red and white seats that really stand out without fans inside them. It's just been a very tough Champions League campaign for RB Leipzig.
Absolutely. Listen, I think you say about their results, but it's been harsh, isn't it? I mean, the draw in the Champions League has not been kind to RB Leipzig. Atletico Madrid, Juventus, Liverpool, Inter, and obviously losing away at Celtic as well. It's been a really tough start for the Champions League for them.
Henrichs clears from the right back position. The ball drops on the halfway line. Here's the Belgian Openda. He is tackled. Aston Villa winning every 50-50 at the moment. On top in this game, Unai Emery will be delighted. Dean passes a ball infield. Kamara is there, just keeping it, ticking it over, like we were saying before the game. Passes back to Pau Torres. Here's Tielemans in central midfield as the pivot. Swings the ball out to Konza. Rodgers tries a turn there, just short of the halfway line, and he's lost the ball. Haidara with a reverse switch pass to the left-hand side. Leipzig looking to get a move going down the left. Ball is played into central midfield. Haidara is onto it again, slides a ball into the Villa box. The run is covered here by Mati Cash, gets a touch on it and stops it from going behind for a corner, clears. And here's the big centre-back, the Hungarian international Willy Orban. Plays a ball to the left. Villa with defending to do. Cross whipped in, all the way to the far post. Easy catch for the keeper, Emi Martinez.
Yeah, struggling to get into this Leipzig at the moment. Vermeeren and Haidara in the midfield, not really getting a lot of ball, not getting a lot of possession. But that's credit to Aston Villa, they're not allowing that. They're having comfortable possession, but on the turnover they're very quick, they're snapping into challenges, they're winning the ball back. Emi Martinez now sitting on the ball, quite comfortable, waiting to draw the Leipzig players in, and then they start again, Aston Villa. John McGinn's dropping in that hole, the space that he's getting in between the back four and the midfield, looking comfortable.
Here's Martinez, Villa's goalkeeper, swings it clear with his left foot, intercepted on the halfway line by Henrichs. The ball is loose though into the Villa half. Dean is there to take control. Finds Kamara, he's tackled, and it goes out for a throw-in to Aston Villa, who are in good shape at the moment, certainly in this Champions League campaign. Off to a flyer at the start of the group stages with those 3 consecutive wins. Opened up with one away to Young Boys, then the really big one, the John Duran goal against Bayern Munich. That was some night at Villa Park. Then the 2-0 home win over Bologna. Strange defeat away to Club Brugge in the 4th game when they conceded the silly penalty when Tyrone Mings put his hand on the ball in the box. The last game, of course, the 0-0 draw against Juventus, and here they are 1-0 up away to Leipzig, in control of the game. Leipzig in the white shirts with the red trim, on the ball, and here's Haidara in central midfield.
And it's suited them, hasn't it, Villa, the Champions League? You look at the results, and you say about that silly goal that they conceded against Club Brugge. That's the only one in the Champions League. This European football and the Champions League format, the way that teams play against them, they've really taken to it.
So 17 minutes played in the first half, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Champions League final score night on the network as well. So you can access that via the red button, the iPlayer, the BBC Sport website and app. Listen to our commentary and keep in touch with all the important facts, figures and statistics along the way. Free kick for Villa from the offside flag going up against Leipzig. Swung out to the right, controlled by Konza. He was looking for Rodgers. Villa have given the ball away here on the edge of their own penalty area. Haidara plays a little 1-2 edge of the box. Leipzig have come back out for a second here, building play from inside their own half. Not seen much of Baumgartner yet, the Austrian in the bright orange boots with the white socks rolled down. They've worked it over to the left-hand side of the field here. Orban, the centre-back, involved again, just inside the Villa half. Villa closing everything down at the moment. And so Leipzig have to come back into their own half and build again from the back.
They've been rocked by that early goal, Leipzig. You can see that. You can see the manager just trying to get some messages onto his players, trying to get them to regroup. But they need to get hold of the ball, get some kind of possession, because it's taken them this long now to gain a bit of confidence, to grow into the game. It's been all Aston Villa until this point. Listen, Leipzig have got some good players. They are going to have the moments in the game.
Here they come again. Central position, about 30 yards from the Villa goal, making Villa chase this ball at the moment. McGinn tries to close the latest pass down. Here is Baumgartner. Baumgartner rolls a ball all the way back into his own half. So Leipzig come back and start again with Herr-Treuder. Over to the left-hand side, twist and a turn. Villa closing it down high up the field. Konza nips in, makes a tackle, and the ball goes out for an RB Leipzig throw. So we're coming up to 20 minutes played in the first half on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And Aston Villa 1-0 up away to RB Leipzig, and the 2 Villa games still to come in January, the last 2 games in the group stage, away to Monaco, and then of course the big one, the last group game at home to Celtic.
And they're going to want the qualification settled by then, aren't they? It's not a game ideally that they're going to want to have to go into and try and get something from. They've given themselves a platform tonight to come here and get something.
Aston Villa have the ball. Kamara, just at walking pace, creeps over the halfway line, way down beneath us, inside this RB arena in Leipzig. Morgan Rogers, slightly loose first touch, manages to keep the ball wide on the right, then tries to force a pass down the right-hand touchline. That's intercepted. Suddenly Villa under pressure. There's the foul from Yuri Tielemans on Antonio Nusa, and that is going to be a free kick to Leipzig just inside the Villa half.
First bit of sloppy play there by Morgan Rogers. Loses possession. Nusa does really well, dispossesses him, runs at the Aston Villa defenders, but Yuri Tielemans takes him down, commits the foul, breaks up the play. And Leipzig have got the opportunity for a set play, which at the moment it looks like they're going to throw into the box.
Antonio Nusa, 19 years old, Norwegian. First season for him here at Leipzig, having joined from Club Bruges in the summer. But the squad is so stretched at the moment for Leipzig. Waiting to take this free kick. White shirts with the red numbers on their backs. Plenty of movement. Aston Villa holding a high line. Just a low pass played across to Vermeeren. Lofted ball to the edge of the Villa box. McGinn lets it bounce. He knew the offside flag was going to go up. It then does. And that will be a free kick for Villa. 20 minutes in, and they're comfortable at the moment. RB Leipzig 0, Aston Villa 1.
And that's one thing with John McGinn. I like him. He works extremely hard. Talked about him linking the play up and been on the shoulders of Ollie Watkins and been creative. But that shows the other side to his game. He's not afraid to shirk. He doesn't shirk his defensive responsibilities. Back there in the defensive line, wins his team a free kick, defends well. He's got a great engine.
Diego Carlos on the ball now for Villa. Cross to his goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. Then play forward by Pau Torres. McGinn cleverly ducks underneath that ball, and Ollie Watkins is the recipient just short of the halfway line. Watkins and Rogers can't keep it for Villa. Here's Haidara, little ball down the inside right channel. As Leipzig start to build, it comes wide to the right-hand side, but they've had to come back into their own half. Ball knocked forward to the halfway line. Haidara keeps it ticking over, a bit like Boubacar Kamara does for Aston Villa. Villa sense an opportunity to try and nick the ball. Ollie Watkins goes chasing inside the Leipzig half. He's going to put Gulacsi, the goalkeeper, under a little bit of pressure here. Gulacsi plays out to the right-hand side. Leipzig trying to work it away down the right. Then a longer ball over the halfway line, comfortably controlled here by Pau Torres. Takes one touch, swings it into the middle of the pitch. Watkins controls, and then he's knocked to the floor and wins Aston Villa the free kick. Good 45, 50 yards, central position from the Leipzig goal, with Villa leading by a goal to 0.
Good centre-forward play by Ollie Watkins there. His team just starting to have a little bit of pressure. Pau Torres wins the ball back, plays it up to Ollie Watkins, puts his body between ball and man, wins himself and his side a free kick.
Paul Robinson with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight. Champions League commentary, more coming your way tomorrow night as well. As I said, Juventus against Manchester City. Aston Villa just discussing here what to do with the free kick. Yuri Tielemans at the heart of things there. Right in the middle of the pitch. Options left and right and central in his luminous yellow boots here. And he drags a low pass across to Luca Dean. Dean pushes one forward down the left. McGinn tries to take it on. Dean was then tripped wide on the left-hand side, about 10 yards up from the byline, and the referee, you heard the shrill blast of the whistle there, immediately awarding Aston Villa the free kick. Henriks with the challenge.
Yeah, it was a poor challenge. Luca Dean had got away from him again. That's where Villa are having a lot of joy down this left-hand side. Luca Dean, John McGinn, link-up play. Henriks there, just takes him down, gives Villa yet another set play. Probably level with the 18-yard box, just in from the touchline. Another opportunity to put the ball in the box.
So Aston Villa free kick from this channel on the left. Bright white semicircle of vanishing spray from the referee, Maurizio Mariani, the Italian, in his luminous orange refereeing shirt. Tielemans holds his left arm in the air, runs to the ball, curls it in towards the near post, and it's headed behind by Openda, and that will be a corner for Villa, who lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, just doesn't miss the first man there, Yuri Tielemans. Not in a rush to take this Aston Villa. The thing you can say about them is they look controlled. They look in complete control of this game. The small times that RB Leipzig have had the ball, Emi Martinez has had nothing to do. He's been a spectator. He's been the quarterback. He started moves off. He started play. Other than that, he's been a mere spectator.
Giant red and white Leipzig flags waving behind that goal away to our left. Aston Villa in the dark blue change kit this evening. Wait to take this corner. Tielemans delivers with his right foot into the near post. Ball is loose inside the box. Cash gets a strike away with his right foot and then slices it wildly, and it goes behind for the goal kick.
They've not defended that very well at all, RB Leipzig. Corner from this right-hand side, in swinging corner. Head height at the near post. It goes all the way across the 6-yard box. Falls to Matty Cash. He gets it all wrong, ends up slicing his strike at the far post, goes out for a goal kick. But how that's got all the way across the box from the corner, I'll never know.
Petar Gulacsi is the Leipzig goalkeeper. He's all in bright yellow. He's waved his defenders away. Got them all the way up to the halfway line. Spanks the ball downfield with his right foot, spinning high in the air. McGinn leaps to win the header. Watkins fancies the chase, nods it down to himself here. Wide on the left is Watkins. Couple of defenders for company, tries to knock the ball between the pair of them, can't collect it on the other side. McGinn chasing to try and win it back for Villa, and the last touch there actually comes off a Leipzig player, and that's going to be an Aston Villa throw just short of the byline on the left.
John McGinn working really hard again for his team. Looks like he's chasing a lost cause, ends up winning his team a throw-in.
Leipzig have cleared for now. Ball is passed up towards the halfway line, brilliantly controlled, and Leipzig keep the move going down the left-hand side. Villa trying to get back here. Here's Haidara, the central midfielder, playing in the long sleeve shirt with the black cotton gloves. Plays back to the right, and Leipzig bring the ball forward at the feet of the centre-back Willy Orban. Slides a pass out to the left. 2 or 3 white shirts just making their way into the middle. Got to watch Benjamin Šeško in particular, the Slovenian international, who's currently just standing on the toes of Pau Torres. Here he is, receives the ball with his back to goal, lays it out to the right to Henriks. Henriks comes back towards the halfway line. Aston Villa continue their press. Zeifeld plays back into the heart of defence. Hertreuder. And now it's worked over to the left-hand side, and Villa have got that covered. Matty Cash makes the block, and it goes out for a throw into Leipzig. Leipzig 0, Villa 1. Yeah,
Šeško's the threat, isn't he? He scored 3 of Leipzig's 4 goals in the Champions League this season. Scored again at the weekend. It was going to be interesting to see how the Villa back 3 coped with the 2 strikers, Šeško and Openda. But actually, at the moment, it's been very comfortable for them. The wing-backs have tucked in, went out of possession, and they've coped extremely well.
Haidara gets it moving again for the home team, Leipzig. Then the ball is driven forward by Zeifeld. Drops down dangerously, edge of the box. They're in Leipzig. Openda read it brilliantly there, comes running in. Emi Martinez looks at his defenders and thinks, how on earth did we get that wrong? And Leipzig have scored a goal out of nothing there. Opportunistic finishing from Lois Openda makes it Leipzig 1, Aston Villa 1.
Yeah, Emi Martinez is on our screens now. He's got that really wrong, the goalkeeper. He's a world-class goalkeeper, but he gets that completely wrong. His depth perception is not on. It's a through ball over the top. It's a long, straight, hopeful ball. The goalkeeper stands at the edge of the box. He comes, he stops, he comes, he stops. And in the hesitation between him and Pau Torres, Openda just nips in between the two of them, takes it with his high boot, says thank you very much, taps it home comfortably into an empty net from 10 yards, but the goalkeeper's got that badly wrong. The communication between him and his defender, decision making, was non-existent, and by the way, that was completely against the run of play.
Yeah, that is a mess for Aston Villa defensively, but a wonderful bit of opportunistic finishing from Lois Openda. His first goal in the Champions League this season, his 9th in all competitions, but the first touch was a lovely one. He saw the hesitation, he saw the opportunity, nipped in, got onto the ball and just rolled it into an empty net.
And that's what it was. It was a hesitation, the lack of communication. Torres thought Martinez was dealing with it, and the goalkeeper in that situation, he can see everything in front of him. He should be the one taking charge of that situation. He should be telling his defender he's coming, he's not coming. If he's not coming, he shouldn't be there. He should drop off and give the defender an opportunity to be able to head the ball back to him. In the end, both of them left it to each other. Openda saw the opportunity, nipped in, and had a really simple task.
Leipzig 1, Villa 1 then here. Club Brugge have equalised against Sporting in the Champions League. That is 1-1, and in the Championship, Swansea are 1-0 up away to Plymouth. That goal coming just before half-time. Most of the kickoffs tonight in the Championship at 7:45. So we're approaching the half-hour mark here in Germany. RB Leipzig 1, Aston Villa 1, and once the old Champions League table refreshes, we'll see what that means for Aston Villa. So they drop from 3rd place to 7th at the moment, having conceded that goal. The key thing in this new Champions League table by the end of the group campaign is trying to get into that top 8. In those top 8 positions, you get yourself straight through to the last 16, anywhere between 9th and 24th, and you've got a 2-legged playoff tie to try and get yourself in to the last 16. So have Villa been stung by that? Here's Kamara, left-footed pass out to Matty Cash with the hair slicked back on a cold night in Germany. Here's Torres, left-footed pass forward to McGinn. Now Dean back to Pau Torres again. Those flags away to our left, just never, enormous rectangular red and white flags, never stop waving.
It's a good atmosphere, isn't it? Really good atmosphere. As you say, the ground's not completely full, but the fans away to our left stood on the terracing with the flags, making enough noise for everybody.
Important goal for Paris Saint-Germain. Gonzalo Ramos has scored half an hour in against RB Salzburg, who are not having a good Champions League campaign, so they're 1-0 down at home to PSG. Here's McGinn, keeps the ball for Villa inside his own half, finds Tielemans with a lofted ball over the top. Watkins brings it down superbly, tries to nick it past the defender, keeps the ball for Villa, rolls it to Dean, but then the referee has decided there was a foul in there from Watkins. I think may have trod on the defender's toes actually, and that is going to be a free kick for Leipzig.
Beautiful first touch by Ollie Watkins. Good ball over the top by John McGinn. Is it? Hetroida.
Yeah.
Just Ollie Watkins takes it on his toe end. It's a fantastic touch. Gets around the wrong side of the defender, but then just can't follow the ball.
Half times in the Championship in some of the 7:45 kickoffs. So it's Plymouth 0, Swansea 1. So the Swansea goal came just before half time. Sheffield Wednesday and Blackburn is goalless. So is Portsmouth against Norwich. Long ball downfield from the Leipzig free kick. 2 headers from Dean. Then Rodgers nods the ball straight up in the air. It bounces inside the Villa half. McGinn comes in. It's all got a little bit scrappy. Works out for Leipzig. Šeško with the step over. Tries to make a dart towards the Villa box. Konza is there with an interception. Then Vermeeren steps in, but Villa bring it away. And Yuri Tielemans is driving forward. And this is a chance on the counter for Villa. Ollie Watkins, Cash in support on the outside. Just couldn't take the ball on the run and keep it. And Watkins for his team tries to get back and win the ball. Blocks the Leipzig man, and that is going to be a free kick for the home team. Leipzig 1, Villa 1.
That's one thing about Aston Villa. They do have that threat on the counter-attack as well. For all the possession, for all the dominance that they've had in this game, they recycle the ball, they create chances that way, but also they can play in that lower block because they've got Ollie Watkins, they've got the pace of Ollie Watkins on the counter-attack. Plays on the shoulder, and slip him in behind, and he's always a threat.
So free kick for Leipzig. Hetroida, the Dutch international, who made a couple of appearances for his country during the Euros this summer. Paul's just held 4 fingers up to me here to indicate that Aston Villa have just dropped into a back 4 there, have they then, Paul?
They looked at it at times, yeah. It's Luca Dean drops in, Matty Cash goes into the midfield. When they're in possession, it looks like they're playing a flat 4-4-2. I mean, that's not a rarity under Unai Emery, but they do have the flexibility to do that. It's Matty Cash and Luca Dean that push on, but more so Luca Dean playing that left-back role.
RB Leipzig 1, Aston Villa 1 in the Champions League tonight. 6th round of matches in the new look format. 2 more group games for each team to come in January. Leipzig knocking the ball around inside their own half. Next break in play will take you to Turf Moor because Burnley Derby has reached half-time, but here come Villa again. Rodgers on the move. Oh, just dropped a shoulder there and almost made his way through into a shooting position, but now suddenly it's Leipzig who come forward, and this is danger. Here's Openda, the goal scorer, ball at his feet. inside the penalty area. Low pass whipped in towards the back post, trying to get a shot away. It's Henriks with his left foot. That's blocked and goes behind for a Leipzig corner. Quickly to Turf Moor, Chris Coles.
Burnley 0, Derby 0. A strangely subdued Burnley performance, very flat in attack. 2 half chances, Sarmiento and Brownhill shot saved by Zetterstrom. Derby haven't offered much either, but they'll be much the happier of the two at the break. Burnley 0, Derby 0.
Thank you, Chris. Sunderland 0, Bristol City 0, and half-time Luton 1, Stoke 1. That's you up to date with the Championship so far. 12 minutes remaining in the first half here in the RB Arena in Leipzig. All the reaction and analysis after tonight's football in the Football Daily podcast for you on the BBC Sounds app. Here's the Leipzig corner into the near post. 2 Villa players jump for it. Cash gets the header away. That is a wild shot. Bouncing ball on the left foot from Henriks, miles off target, ballooned into the air and goes behind for the Villa goal kick. Paul Robinson.
Certainly become more of an even contest as the game's gone on. Leipzig have grown into the game. They were stunned by that early goal from Villa. Villa dominated early, first 10-15 minutes. But actually, as the game's gone on now, especially after they've got the goal, Leipzig, they've grown in confidence. They're having more possession. And as I say, it's a lot more of an even contest.
In the 8 o'clock kickoff in the Championship, Leeds are leading Middlesbrough by a goal to 0. Throw in for Villa in their left back position. 12 minutes remaining in the first half. The ball is lofted towards John McGinn, who is sent sprawling to the turf and wins the free kick. That is Henriks, who's come through the back of him. Villa in no hurry to take the free kick, and you can just see Unai Emery wagging his left hand where he wants the ball played. Villa now have worked it well. Rodgers trying to slide it through. Matty Cash is in behind the Leipzig defence, drives the right-footed shot. Gulashi is able to save it his near post, and it goes behind for a corner.
Again, it's Morgan Rodgers linking the play. He's so clever. Gets the ball in midfield. He sees the overlapping run of Matty Cash on his right-hand side, puts it through the fullback's leg straight into Matty Cash's stride. Doesn't have to break his stride. Hits a shot on the angle, but straight at the goalkeeper.
John McGinn getting whistled and jeered, the Villa captain, in his dark blue kit as he goes over to the quadrant to place the ball. Yuri Tielemans comes running towards him. They have a little conversation. Is this going to be another clever Villa set-piece routine? Tielemans stands short, about 7-8 yards from McGinn if he wants that option. McGinn is standing a few yards from the ball, holds both arms in the air. Whistles continue, taking plenty of time here, McGinn. Now he runs to the ball, whips it in low to the near post, doesn't beat the first defender. Openda heads it straight up in the air. Ball drops to the Belgian again, gives it a right old hoof with his right foot. Kamara comes across to control it and intercept, and that works out nicely for Villa. McGinn on the move, searing run from right to left across the Leipzig half, plays back to Diego Carlos. Now Tielemans cross takes a slight deflection, it's headed away, but only as far as Kamara. Kamara was about to release a pass to Cash, decided against it. Rodgers gets on the ball in the inside right channel. There's Tielemans again. Tielemans to Kamara. Kamara just scoops a pass to the right. Rodgers, clever little touch, lays it off to Cash. Back to Rodgers, on the ball, back to goal inside the penalty area. It's taken off him, and Leipzig should be able to get it away down the left. Tielemans closes it down, blocks the clearance, and that will be a throw-in to the home team.
We talk about set plays a lot at the moment, don't we? It's a very topical subject, but if the delivery's not right, it doesn't matter where you put bodies in the box, it doesn't matter what movement you've got, it's all about the delivery into the box, and that the instance there, John McGinn's poor delivery, that emphasises that point. It makes me laugh, doesn't it, with the set plays now. It's not something new. All of a sudden it's revolutionary because we've got set play coaches in the game. We did it years ago, but you were labelled a long ball team or a dinosaur if you did the set plays. Now all of a sudden it's key and vital because we've got set play coaches.
Pau Torres plays the ball to Dean to McGinn. They exchange a couple of passes, comes back to Torres again. Marco Rosa is the RB Leipzig manager, his 3rd season in charge. In his 1st season won the German Cup. He's had a 3rd place and a 4th place finish. Tielemans can't control a ball on the edge of the Leipzig box. Leipzig rather dangerously trying to dribble out from the back. Vermeeren plays the ball to the corner of the penalty area. Villa trying to close in here and keep Leipzig back there. Clearance is away, but it's a hopeful hit forward. It's intercepted by Konza. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Leipzig 1, Aston Villa 1 in the Champions League. And earlier on today, Dinamo Zagreb 0, Celtic 0. And Girona 0, Liverpool 1. The Mo Salah penalty making it 6 wins out of 6 for Liverpool.
He's very coolly dressed, isn't he, Marco Rosa, the Leipzig manager? I think whether we've got the weather forecast wrong or not, he's got a cap and a light baseball jacket on.
That's
Obviously
right.
He's more used to the cold than we are.
Unzipped, hands in pockets, t-shirt underneath untucked, just pacing up and down the touchline here. His team have got themselves level, looking for their first point in the competition, but a point is not going to be good enough for them. They really need all three this evening. Leipzig 1, Villa 1. Tielemans plays back into his own half. Diego Carlos just walking the ball forward here. No one from the Leipzig team is coming towards him. Eventually passes to Kamara. Back it comes to Carlos here. Konza makes himself available. Tielemans lets that run. Rodgers couldn't quite get onto it. Suddenly Leipzig are interested again. Haidara wins it and then plays back to his goalkeeper Gulashi, who thumps it forward with his right foot first time, but that's pretty aimless. Konza is able to control that neatly inside his own half, and Villa can start to build again.
It's interesting watching this Villa team from a high vantage point like we've got now. As I said, we're very high up, right at the back of the stand. In fact, looking down, you can see the tactical approach, and you see how hybrid Aston Villa are at times. With this back three, then out of possession it's a 4, sometimes it's a 3. The wing backs tucking in, pushing on. It's a really interesting watch, the amount of times that they actually change during the game.
Rodgers tackled wide on the right for Villa, just short of the halfway line, but the decision goes against him. He was convinced he was going to win a throw in there for Aston Villa, but it's gone the other way. That's going to be a Leipzig throw. 1-1 here in the Champions League. Ball into the Villa half. Villa man goes tumbling. That is going to be a free kick for them. Got a little bit scrappy in the last minute or so. It's Tielemans who's taken the knock, but he's picked himself up quickly.
Yeah, he just concedes the free kick there. Haidara, I think it is, into the back of Tielemans, breaks the play up again. As you say, the last few moments it's been scrappy, it's been a stop-start. Villa just need to get back in control of the game as they were earlier on, have some good possession, enjoy having the ball.
Kamara gliding smoothly across the turf for Villa. Rodgers tries to feed one through to Watkins in a central position. Villa close in, hunting impacts, trying to win this ball back on the edge of the Leipzig box, but there's a chance here for Henrichs. Plays the ball across his own penalty area to Herr comes wide to Antonio Nusa. A little bit of skill from the 19-year-old Norwegian. Drags the ball under the studs of his right boot, makes ground into the Villa half, then stops and plays back towards Herr. It comes across to the rugged centre-back Willi Orban, now in his 10th season with Leipzig. Haidara gets involved. He's able to turn just inside the Villa half, plays across to another one of the youngsters, Vermeeren, 19-year-old Belgian who's on loan from Atletico Madrid. There's Herr playing to the left to Nusa again. Infield to Haidara. Villa having to chase the ball at the moment. Still 1-1. 5 minutes remaining in the first half on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Good build-up. Vermeeren towards Šeško. Šeško can't get away from Kamara. Kamara's ball looking for Watkins. That is intercepted on the halfway line by Seifelt, who is the Austrian international midfielder doing a job at centre-back for Leipzig. And here they come down the inside left channel. Nusa feeds the pass to the left. Little step and a trick inside the box. Good block on the shot from Konza. Then Rodgers, clever turn on the edge of his own penalty area, and suddenly Villa are on the move. Watkins makes a run. Orban surely has played him offside. The flag stays down for now. Ollie Watkins takes it on, drives the shot into the back of the net. I think he knows, yeah. Flag, everyone knew, Paul.
It's mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. Ollie Watkins has made a run, 10, 15 yards into the Leipzig half. And we can all see, with the naked eye you can see that he's a miles offside. Everyone in the stadium's waiting for the flag to go up, yet the assistant referee has to wait, he has to see the play out. Ollie Watkins goes through, goalkeeper makes a half-hearted attempt. Yes. He just basically lets it go in. You're just getting a view now of Marco Rosa on the screen, saying to the fourth official, why? Yeah. Why do we have to play that long?
He held all the fingers up on one hand. I think he said to say, look, he's 5 yards offside, why are we doing that?
And we've just had a VAR check as well.
Just to be sure.
Just to make sure. Yeah.
Well, we can assure you it was definitely offside. Ollie Watkins knew. I mean, he knew as soon as he scored. He didn't even celebrate the goal. So he's still looking for that first Champions League goal for Aston Villa, but it was his little unselfish nod down that got Villa off to a flyer, that set up John McGinn for the early goal. Been pegged back by the Openda equaliser. Here's Tielemans on the ball for Villa just inside his own half, through the legs of his teammate Kamara. McGinn to Pau Torres, who comes striding into the Leipzig half, across to Luca Dean to Kamara on the ball for Villa. Little 1-2 with Yuri Tielemans, and Pau Torres has stayed forward wide on the left, midway here inside the Leipzig half. Back to Kamara, curling pass looking for Rodgers. Great movement again from Morgan Rodgers, controlled and kept moving with the ball in one moment. Here's Dean in his light green boots. Back to Torres. Villa control of the ball late in this first half, 2.5 minutes of it remaining. Kamara sees an opportunity to try and feed one into Watkins. He tries to lay it off to Rodgers, couldn't quite control it. Zeifeld comes back to his goalkeeper, and Petr Gulácsi clears with his right foot. Good header won by Diego Carlos. The ball goes loose into the Leipzig half, and Amadou Haidara, the Malian international, has space to run with it. Plays it out to the left-hand side to Nusa. Back to Haidara. Haidara just holds off for a second. Little 1-2 with Hertreuder. Haidara again. Vermeeren is there, the 19-year-old Belgian. Into the feet of Šeško. Little touch on the edge of the Villa box. Villa have won the ball and they're moving it quickly forward. Here's Watkins, receives it just short of the halfway line. Back to Tielemans. Matty Cash comes steaming up on the right. Great ball through though to Ollie Watkins. Takes a touch and hits it not that well with his right foot, straight at the keeper. Comfortable save for Gulácsi.
Oh, what a wonderful ball by Yuri Tielemans. It looks packed, it looks like he's got no options whatsoever. Ollie Watkins makes the run in between the two centre-backs, and Tielemans threads a ball through the eye of a needle straight into the path of Ollie Watkins. Tough angle, defender closing him down, hits the target just without any power.
Liverpool top of this Champions League table at the moment on 18 points. Inter Milan in action tonight. They are currently on 14 points as things stand, but Villa at the moment in that top 8, ahead of all the action tomorrow night as well. They'd be on 11 points if they get a draw here. Openda trying to wriggle through on the edge of the Villa box. Suddenly Leipzig are interested. Šeško looking to turn on the edge of the area. Little step over. Plenty of Villa players surrounding him, but he does get his pass away. Little chip ball from Henriks. Chased by Openda, keeps it in, drives it into the near post, and it goes spinning up over the bar. Pau Torres came sliding in and blocked the cross at the near post, and Villa turn to the assistant referee and say, where was the offside flag?
Well, he looked for all the world that he was offside. I mean, he's right down in front of us. You've just seen the replay now. Do you know what? I'll take that back. I'll give the assistant referee credit. We're looking now at the replay. He was onside, the assistant referee. All the Villa players stopped. They thought he was miles offside.
Yellow card shown there, I think, to Emi Martinez for his complaints. I think it was Martinez, but the referee immediately moved away from the goalkeeper. We'll check on that. Closing stages of the first half on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Leipzig 1, Villa 1. Thomas Müller has got Bayern back in front away to Shakhtar. Shakhtar Donetsk 1, Bayern 2. Zeifeld with the corner. It's an away swinger. Tielemans wins the first header. Henriks again, ambitious left foot volley from the edge of the box, well wide of the target. 1 minute of added time, Paul Robinson, coming at the end of this first half.
Yeah, wasted opportunity there by Leipzig. Decent corner into the box. Pender didn't quite get hold of the shot. Looking at Ollie Watkins' replay there, maybe he wasn't as far offside as we thought he was.
Definitely offside though, Paul.
It was definitely offside.
Definitely offside. Just seen the replay of it, half time. Leverkusen 0, Inter 0. That's another big game in the Champions League tonight. Tomorrow night's commentary comes live from Turin. Juventus against Manchester City. We'll have updates of Arsenal against Monaco. We're live at Ibrox on Thursday night for Rangers against Tottenham. So the former Celtic boss Ange Postecoglou heads back to Ibrox. Big game in the Europa League. Morgan Rodgers busy for Villa as ever. Controls it, lays it off to Konza. Konza looking for the run of Watkins again. Bouncing ball, he can't control it on the edge of the box. Goes to ground as he tries to do so, and it ends up in the arms of the Leipzig keeper, Gulácsi.
Real threat, Ollie Watkins playing on the shoulder of Orban. Orban with his experience, his positional sense, but Watkins is very, very quick and sharp round the corner.
There we go then. Half-time whistle blows, just the 1 minute of added time. Unai Emery turns on his heel and marches back to the dressing room. Aston Villa, Paul Robinson off to an absolute flyer. Well-worked goal, stuck away by John McGinn from the Ollie Watkins knockdown. And out of nowhere, really, came the Leipzig equaliser. Well taken by Lois Openda. But Emi Martinez and defenders just got in a bit of a mess in trying to deal with it, didn't they? Yeah,
they got themselves in a real mess, and it gave Leipzig a leg up. It gave them an opportunity to get back into the game when they didn't really have it. Actually, you know, the way Villa started, they controlled possession, they got their goal and they looked comfortable. But that lapse of concentration, the lack of communication, the mistake again, you look at Villa's Champions League record, the goal they've conceded, the 2 goals they've conceded in the Champions League, the one away at Club Brugge, and another mistake tonight.
Currently 7th in the table as it stands. Aston Villa level with Leipzig at half-time. That puts them on 11 points as things stand. And I can see late goal in the first half for Atalanta. Atalanta have equalised against Real Madrid, so an important goal in terms of the overall group table. But half-time here in Leipzig. Leipzig 1, Aston Villa 1.
Yeah, they've been their own worst enemy in this Champions League campaign, haven't they, Paul?
Absolutely, defensively, yeah. So just saying there about the 2 goals that they conceded, that was so not like Emi Martinez. His depth perception, his reading of the through ball is normally very, very good. It's the most difficult thing for a goalkeeper, is reading the straight ball. because at times, when the ball goes across, it's a lot easier to read. But actually, when it's a dead straight ball, which that one was, that's the hardest one to pick. And the communication between him and Pau Torres was non-existent. Pau Torres thought that the goalkeeper was dealing with it, which he should have done because he can see everything in front of him. He should have either dropped off, allowed Pau Torres to deal with it, head it back to him, or the goalkeeper should have dealt with the situation. Neither happened, and as you say, they give Leipzig the leg up.
Why is the straight ball the hardest then?
It's just hard to read. It's just the flight of the ball. You're looking as to where it's going to bounce, where it's going to drop behind the defender. Actually, if it drops over the defender or in front of the defender, you have to pick where it's going to go. If it's going across, it's to do with the flight of the ball and the trajectory of it.
Paul, Ali, thank you very much. John Bennett has been keeping his eye on everything else that's going on tonight in the Champions League.
And it's Atalanta 1, Real Madrid 1 at half-time. It was all going so well for Real Madrid, Mark. Kylian Mbappe scored his 50th Champions League goal. He was playing like the Kylian Mbappe of old. It was a lovely first touch to take the ball into the box. Then he fired it in to make it 1-0 after just 9 minutes. He was looking really energetic as well until the 35th minute when he went down injured. Looked like an ankle injury, walked off the pitch, but he had to come off injured. Rodrigo came on, and just before the break, a harsh penalty. Tchouameni with the foul, and Charles de Catalara, who's been one of the form players for Atalanta, scored the penalty. So Atalanta 1, Real Madrid 1 at half-time. Work for Real Madrid to do. Remember, Mark, they came into the game with just 6 points.
And what else?
So it's RB Leipzig 0, Paris Saint-Germain 1. Remember, this is the game that Paris Saint-Germain really have to win, and they're getting the result they need, but they should have so many more goals. It's the story of their season, creating chances, not taking them, but Gonzalo Ramos is back after 3 months out. He slid in to fire in Hakimi's header. So Paris Saint-Germain 1-0 up. I talked up Bayer Leverkusen Inter before the game. It's not been great. Bayer Leverkusen 0, Inter 0. They're cancelling each other out, really. Brest are winning yet again. What a story they have been in this Champions League. Up to 13 points as it stands. Winning 1-0 against PSV Eindhoven, who are in great form. Julien Le Cardinal with the goal after a free kick caused chaos. And Bayern Munich, Mark, are leading against Shakhtar. They went 1-0 down, but just before the break, Thomas Muller scored to give Bayern Munich the lead. And that's a win. If it stays like that would take them up to 12 points.
Thank you very much, John. Let's go into the Championship. Leeds against Middlesbrough. Mike Minor.
Yeah, Leeds leading 1-0 at the break. It's no more than they deserve, but the goal itself was strange. Crossing from the right, it hits a defender, then hits the goalkeeper, Seny Dieng. He then tries to clear it, stretching on the floor with his foot, hits the ball against Nionto, and then it goes over the goalkeeper and in. Really bizarre, but Leeds really do deserve it. He had another big chance at the end of the first half as well. Middlesbrough, odd opportunity, but Ilhan Meslier, the United goalkeeper, really comfortable for the first half. Leeds 1, Middlesbrough 0.
That was an 8 o'clock kick-off. All the others in the Championship 7:45s. Burnley started the evening on the same number of points as Leeds, but so far they're being held at home by Derby. Chris Coles.
Being held at home by a resilient Derby, a very well organised Derby, but Burnley are flat. They didn't create anywhere near enough in that first half. Sarmiento and Brownhill with 2 half chances from the edge of the area, both comfortably saved by Zetterstrom. They'll need to be far more creative in this second half if they are to break through a Derby side that are intent on keeping it tight and hitting Burnley on the break. 3 and a bit minutes into that second half, Burnley 0, Derby 0.
Luton 1, Stoke 1. Plymouth are behind as the second half has got underway at Home Park. Swansea lead there by 1-0. Goalless between Portsmouth and Norwich, and Sheffield Wednesday and Blackburn, and also at the Stadium of Light between Sunderland and Bristol City. There are National League games as well this evening, and the latest scores there: AFC Fylde 0, Ebbsfleet 0, FC Halifax 0, Sutton 0. Solihull Moors are a goal up on Aldershot. It's been a heck of a first half at Wealdstone, 2-2 with Altrincham. They are in League 2. In Scotland, just the one game, Spartans 1, Stranraer 2. It is 7 minutes to 9 o'clock. Here's the latest news with Nick Hatfield.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Israel says it's destroyed Syria's naval fleet. It's been carrying out hundreds of strikes on military targets across the country since the fall of the Assad regime over the weekend. The United Nations has called for Israel to stop its attacks. Our international editor Jeremy Bowen is in Damascus and says Israel wants to protect its borders.
It's trying to destroy what is left of the Syrian army. The soldiers, the airmen, the sailors melted away from their military infrastructure, but the Israelis believe that they should destroy it because the Islamists who now control the capital and the country might get hold of it. This is in the spirit of a 100-year-old idea in Israel to erect an iron wall around the Jewish state.
Benjamin Netanyahu has become the first serving Israeli leader to take the witness stand as a criminal defendant. The Prime Minister told the court in Tel Aviv that corruption allegations against him are ridiculous. Prosecutors say Mr. Netanyahu accepted gifts and exchanged favours with media owners for positive press coverage. The former England rugby union player Tom Voice is believed to have died after flooding from Storm Dara in Northumberland. Police say the 43-year-old is thought to have tried to cross a ford in his car on Sunday and was swept away. A wildfire in California has been spreading rapidly through Malibu near Los Angeles. Evacuation orders have been issued in some areas. The county fire chief is Anthony C. Maroney.
The fire is currently estimated at over 2,200 acres. And we have 700 firefighting personnel assigned. Because of the great work of the firefighters that were on scene, we have only a minimal number of homes destroyed.
And charities are warning there could be more nursery closures ahead of a further expansion of free childcare because of a lack of funding. The government has provided £2 billion to support the rollout from next September. Eligible working parents of children from 9 months will receive 30 hours of government-funded childcare per week during term time.
It's nearly Christmas! So pop over to BBC iPlayer for that festive feeling.
Welcome, one and all.
Let's get this party started.
Now you're talking. Right, time for the Christmas quiz.
However you celebrate.
This sprout should have been blanched 20 minutes ago. Merry Christmas, one and all. Merry Christmas, Bryn.
We're more than ready for Christmas.
Take a moment to savour the magic of Christmas.
Okay, I've done that now. Okay. Watch Christmas comedy on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport.
The Champions League with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Let's bring you reaction to the two early games in the Champions League. Liverpool making it 6 wins out of 6. Their qualification for the last 16 could be confirmed tomorrow if results go their way. Mo Salah's second half penalty, the difference. Alisson made some big saves on his return to the team. Here's Arne Slot.
If you ask me about all the 6 games, I'm really pleased with all the results. I'm really pleased with the 5 games, the way we played. I'm far from pleased about the performance tonight. If you play against a team that has such a good idea about football, knows how to bring the ball out from the back, like some other teams we faced recently, like City or Real Madrid, then you need to be so intense if you want to make it difficult for them. But if you're every time waiting a few seconds before you press, and if you do press, you are so easily outplayed, then this team can cause you a lot of problems, and that's what they showed. But we have an incredible goalkeeper. I said out of a bit of a joke that maybe the players wanted to see how fit he really was, so to give him so much work. But of course that was not our plan. He showed again today why I said so many times that he's our first goalkeeper. That has nothing to do with Cruyff. He did so well. But Alisson has been so important for this club for so many years, for his country as well, and showed today that he's probably one of the best, in my opinion, the best goalkeeper in the world. And let's hope he can continue bringing these performances in. Let's even hope more that he can stay fit.
Celtic are unbeaten in 4 now in the Champions League. They drew 0-0 away to Dinamo Zagreb and have 9 points now. Here's Brendan Rodgers.
The positive is that we come away again and we're defensively strong. I thought we lacked quality, if I'm honest, in the final third of the pitch. We progressed the game well enough. We got into some really good areas. The pitch was a little bit tricky, but I think in terms of both teams, I think when I arrived into the final third, there wasn't, and I think you can see that by the shots on target that we had. So that was the only downside for the game for us. We had a great energy, we had a good commitment, but we needed to do more. We needed to do more, but we know that, and that's that's cool. You know, if we're honest as a group, we know that it was an opportunity for us there, but you have to show that a little bit more in those moments when you arrive up in there. And too often it just came away from us. Either was a little bit loose with our pass, or just didn't quite make that moment count. So that was the only downside. But like I say, it's if you're in the Champions League and you get a clean sheet and take a point away from home and you're not very happy, then that shows you how much and how far the group is progressing, or the team is.
Go back to Leipzig shortly, where it's RB Leipzig 1, Aston Villa 1. But tomorrow night, Phil Foden, Manuel Akanji and Nathan Ake are all set to miss Manchester City's game away to Juventus. 1 win in 9 for City, but Pep Guardiola says he's happy with his players' approach.
Yeah, I love them. We can be better. We can do better. We have to find something inside of all of us to get the results. We have to perform well, do it well again. And these next 2 weeks is really, really important.
So what do you feel about the state of play in the group? What do you think you will need? Is it possible that you might need to win all 3, do you think?
We are not in the position, when you had the results the last 7-8 games, to talk about win games and win games in plural. So we have to win game and not to see what happens in the next one. But of course we are in a position like we don't win against Feyenoord, especially, of course, the first game against Inter, unfortunately, was a draw. And with these 4 points that we don't have, we have two difficult games in Turin, in Paris, and we have to take points to qualify. And after we see.
And what do you make of Juventus, who've obviously had difficulties of their own this season?
Well, Juve is Juve. In Italy, the best team. They used to play with a lot of pressure, and the quality is there. Thiago, you see what he's trying to do, you see where he's going to go, make an incredible job in Bologna. And it's a question of time, but they have incredible variations in his play, the mindset or the way they want to play is there. But of course, all the managers need time, to settle. Hopefully, Juventus board can give it to him this time to create what you want to do. And we'll be happy to see him tomorrow.
Pep Guardiola, and you can hear Juventus against Manchester City on 5 Live Sport tomorrow evening. Back to the Championship, Turf Moor, Burnley Derby, Chris Coles.
Still 0-0, but the best chance of the game has just fallen to the visitors. Derby's Jerry Yates put through, great strength to hold off his man. Left foot shot saved by the left hand of James Trafford. The rebound then into the side netting. The angle just a little too acute for Yates, but a warning sign for Burnley, who are still lacking bite up front. 58 minutes, Burnley 0, Derby 0.
Remember, Leeds going top of the table this evening. They lead Middlesbrough by a goal to 0. That was an 8 o'clock kickoff in the 7:45. So goalless between Burnley and Derby. All square between Luton and Stoke. Swansea are a goal up at Plymouth. Goalless between Portsmouth and Norwich. And Sheffield Wednesday and Blackburn and Sunderland and Bristol City. So in the Champions League then at half-time, Atalanta 1, Real Madrid 1, Brest 1, PSV 0, Club Brugge 1, Sporting 1, Leverkusen 0, Inter 0, Salzburg 0, Paris Saint-Germain 1, Shakhtar 1, Bayern 2. And we return to Leipzig with it all square there. RB Leipzig 1, Aston Villa 1. Here are Paul Robinson and Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Thank you, Mark. Just being offered a load of soft drinks. Someone's just appeared in the top row of the commentary position here, high up above the pitch, carrying a big plastic crate of different soft drinks. Not experienced that before. Very nice. Table service in the commentary position. Team news at half-time here, Paul. So it's Leipzig 1, Villa 1. John Duran is coming on for Aston Villa, and he is coming on for Ollie Watkins. So we're not going to see Watkins and Duran play together. Of course, Aston Villa are involved in one of our 5 Live commentaries at the weekend. The 5:30 game on Saturday away to Nottingham Forest. So they have got that to think about. But it is Tuesday night, isn't it? So there's quite a gap between this game and that game.
Yeah, he's clearly got an issue, Ollie Watkins. There's no reason that he would rotate. As we say, we never see them, or rarely see them play on the same pitch at the same time, but he's not going to take Ollie Watkins off at half-time if he hasn't got a niggle. I thought he played really well in the first half. He was a real threat.
2 goals already for John Duran in the Champions League this season. The famous one, of course, in the home win over Bayern Munich, that fabulous lob finish. And Kevin Campbell has come on, who once played for Borussia Dortmund under Jurgen Klopp, Kevin Campbell, former Slovenian international, 32 years old, one of the rare experienced substitutes that Marco Rosa has available to him, and he's had to take Amadou Haidara off in central midfield. So it's a change of pace at half-time. Stadium at the moment actually is half empty. Lots of fans making their way back to their seats right now. The atmosphere has been slightly strange inside the RB Arena tonight. Leipzig obviously have not been going well in the Champions League. You've got the ultras away to the left, continuously making noise and waving the big flags, but we've seen plenty of empty seats, and at times it's been quite flat. Some of the food on offer here as well. I mean, pretzels the size of your head you can get here.
The Christmas market's been rather busy, haven't they, as we're walking through town?
Right, second half underway. Aston Villa in the change kit, so it's all dark blue with white trim, white numbers on the back, and a horizontal white pinstripe across the chest. And John Duran, the Colombian, scorer of 9 goals so far this season for Aston Villa. 2 of those in the Champions League is on for Ollie Watkins. Matty Cash chests the ball down, finds Duran. Duran's layoff to Tielemans on the edge of the box, surrounded by white Leipzig shirts. Duran nips in, wins the ball back, outside of his left foot, finds Rodgers. Rodgers again has looked supreme with the ball at his feet tonight for Aston Villa. Matty Cash on the turn, wide on the right for Villa. Passes back to Tielemans. Villa had plenty of control in that first half, certainly in the early stages of that first half. Got themselves the early goal, got in front, conceded a silly one, and the game sort of became a bit more even after that.
They were more in control, weren't they, at Aston Villa, when the game started. Got the early goal, and as you say, they looked very, very comfortable and confident in possession. And it was their own downfall, the mistake between Emi Martinez and Diego Carlos, it was for the goal.
Long ball down the left. Luca Dean, first time ball, finds McGinn. Back to Dean, crosses blocked, and it goes behind for an early Aston Villa corner in the second half. So Emi Martinez in goal, Konza, Pau Torres, Diego Carlos, the 3 centre-backs, Matty Cash and Luca Dean. It was Dean actually who got booked towards the end of the first half. I thought it was Emi Martinez, but it was Luca Dean who obviously has said something out of turn, so he's on the yellow card. Boubacar Kamara in the protective role in front of the defence. Tielemans, McGinn and Rodgers now in support of John Duran for Villa. Tielemans dummies the corner, knocks it short to McGinn, gives it back to Tielemans, crosses in, headed away at the near post by Orban, down at the feet of Rodgers, couple of touches, then low ball from him, that's blocked, comes back to Cash, crosses in from the right hand side, drops nicely inside the penalty area, driven shot by Duran, bobbles wide of the target, tried to hit that as hard as he could, didn't quite catch it right. Half a chance though.
That was a really good chance, especially for a player of John Duran's quality. He just tried to take the skin off that. There was nothing cultured about that whatsoever. It comes to him about 13 yards out, and he just tries to absolutely smash it. He gets it all wrong.
Plymouth 0, Swansea 2, latest in the Championship. That's just popped up on the video printer in front of me. Sunderland 0, Bristol City 1. Luke McNally with the goal for Bristol City. Those are the 7:45 kickoffs. Leeds leading Middlesbrough by a goal to 0 in the 8 o'clock kickoff this evening. Free kick for the home team RB Leipzig, so they've made the change at half-time as well. They've got Gulashi in goal, Henriks, Zeivalt, Orban and Hertreuder at the back. Not seeing too much of Christoph Baumgartner in this game so far. 19-year-old Belgian Arthur Vermeeren in central midfield, now joined by Kevin Campbell. Antonio Nusa, who's a 19-year-old Norwegian, attacks from the left wing position. Šeško and the goalscorer Openda are the 2 that Aston Villa's backline have to deal with. Leipzig on the ball, they're in the white shirts, red numbers on their backs, and here is Zeifeld popping up in the left wing back position. Thought about releasing a pass down the left to Nusa, plays it into the midfield to Vermeeren. Vermeeren back to Zeifeld, wide it goes here to Campbell, short sleeve shirt and the black gloves on as well, tries to feed one through to Openda. Tielemans darts in, Kamara's fouled, and Aston Villa get the free kick inside their own half. RB Leipzig 1, Aston Villa 1 in the Champions League.
He's clever at that, Yuri Tielemans. Sits in front of that back four, breaks up play, and Kamara alongside him there wins his team the free kick. Spoke about him before the game, Kamara, but you can just see he just goes about his work so quietly and effectively on the pitch.
4 minutes gone in the second half. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Tomorrow night's commentary, Juventus against Manchester City, live from Turin in the company of John Murray and Pat Nevin. The ball is driven from deep and Matty Cash chases, and that's a fabulous pass which he's going to collect wide on the right, 5 yards short of the byline. The defender backs off for a second. Cash has options. Back to Tielemans, across to the edge of the box. Here's Kamara's low shot, is straight at the goalkeeper Goulashy, who's able to just to bend down and pick the ball up.
Stunning long ball that into the path of Matty Cash on the right hand side. Ball comes there to Kamara on the edge of the box on his weaker left foot. Doesn't quite get the ball, 20 yards out, dead centre of goal. Tame strike straight at the goalkeeper.
So 5 minutes gone in the second half. We made our way from the city centre out to the stadium way before kick-off tonight, about a 15 or 20 minute walk. I heard talk of a Villa fan walk, like the ones we saw from the Dutch fans in particular, I think in this city as well, before the game against France, which is often quite a sight. The Villa fans were going to do that from the city centre to make their way out here. They've certainly enjoyed their time in Leipzig. Here's Hertreuder for Leipzig to Campbell, central position, 35 yards out from the Villa goal, goes wide to the left to Nusa. Nusa to the corner of the box, gets that cross in, flick header goes straight up in the air. Villa with defending to do. Tielemans can't get the ball away. Campbell with a little touch, right foot to left foot, he's tackled down by the byline here, and Villa are going to try and bring it away. And there is the clearance, but it's nodded down by Vermeeren, wide to the left to Nusa, and there's some early pressure in this second half for the home team Leipzig, who, let's not forget, have to win this game, because so far it's been 5 defeats from 5, and any chance of qualification, you really think they're going to have to win all 3 games. That cross straight into the arms of Emi Martinez, it remains 1-1.
And you can see that's the message that this Leipzig team have been sent out with in the second half from the manager. They've come out with a lot more urgency, a lot more determination, forward thinking.
John Duran, the Colombian, on the ball for Villa, bringing it forward, left-footed curler, it's fabulous! He's done it again, John Duran! The super sub for Aston Villa has curled a shot in from 30 yards out. Goulashy was off his line. I think the goalkeeper will feel he could have done better with that. But everything John Duran touches this season turns to gold, and Aston Villa back in front in the Champions League. It's Leipzig 1, Villa 2.
Well, it's a clever finish by John Duran, but Goulashy in goal, what's he doing, the goalkeeper? I mean, he doesn't even jump. It's an awful attempt by the goalkeeper for Leipzig. John Duran, you give him credit, comes all the way from Emi Martinez. It's a simple build-up for Villa, straight through the middle of the pitch. A couple of interchanges with Yuri Tielemans. John Duran sees the goalkeeper. He's, 25, 30 yards away? It's not even a strong strike. It's almost like a toe poke, lifted, curly, weak effort, you're just thinking that the goalkeeper's going to catch it. He jumps and he waves at the ball. I mean, the goalkeeper's positioning is awful. How that's gone in the back of the net, I've got no idea.
Poor positioning from Goulashy. And as you say, Paul, a really sort of half-hearted attempt to get the ball, and it does dip late and drops underneath the crossbar. I mean, John Duran can't believe his luck, I'm sure. That's his 3rd goal in the Champions League this season. Ollie Watkins is yet to score in the Champions League. He's just come off the field, and he's probably thinking, well, why doesn't that sort of thing happen to me? Leipzig 1, Villa 2. What a season John Duran is having. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Blackburn 1. So Blackburn 1 up at Hillsborough in the Championship tonight. Villa back in front here, 8 minutes gone in the second half, and that slightly stunned everyone, I think, inside the stadium. And here they come again with Duran. Receives the ball in the inside right channel. Rodgers making the run for him. In behind the Leipzig defenders, down to the byline. Tries to cross to the far post. Goulashy's dropped it. Palms it away. Barges into Kamara as he does so. Caught a bit of Kamara, who went down, but the referee doesn't think that's a penalty. The ball is loose inside the Leipzig half. And now it's Luca Dean charging at Leipzig defenders. Cut back into the penalty area. Duran controls it nicely. He's got his back to goal. Turns and lays it back to Cash. Cash plays it to Rodgers. Rodgers holds his man off, just pokes the ball back to Tielemans, and Villa sense an opportunity here, maybe to go in for the kill and get themselves a 3rd goal.
Well, at the moment, the way the goalkeeper's playing, any shot on target's going to go in. He's having a shocker, isn't he? He looks devoid of confidence. I mean, listen, believe me, I know the best. It's the loneliest, hardest place in the world. Some days you feel it's a beach ball, you can't miss it, it's massive. Other days it feels tiny, and the goalkeeper looks completely devoid of confidence at the moment. How that goal's gone in, I've got no idea. Makes a real mess of that cross that came in there. Took Kamara down, who's lucky not to give away a penalty.
Villa sensing a real opportunity here. Win this game. Table as it stands, Aston Villa 13 points will put them 3rd in the Champions League table, still with 2 games to play. One against Monaco away from home, the last group game against Celtic. Real opportunity for them to take automatic qualification for the last 16. Driving run here from Kamara from the Villa midfield, plays it across to Morgan Rodgers, couple of touches, brilliant skill, left-footed curler just over the bar, and Villa all over Leipzig at the start of this second half. At the moment, they lead 2-1.
Thought he'd made the wrong choice there, Kamara. It looked like the ball was for John Duran down the left-hand side. Went to Morgan Rogers, cuts back, and it's a weak strike in the end.
Mike Maine's seen another goal at Elland Road. Mike.
Yeah, Middlesbrough came out in the second half. They played a lot better. They've just scored from a corner. I think it's got off the Leeds defender at the near post, flicked over the goalkeeper and found its way into the back of the net. Leeds will feel really hard done by from their first half, but Middlesbrough have got level. Leeds United 1, Middlesbrough 1.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. It's saying here on the video printer, Maximilian Verber with an own goal there to make it Leeds 1, Middlesbrough 1. Final score night on 5 Live, so you can keep across all the football action, listen to the commentary, get the stats and all the updates and everything else via the Red Button iPlayer, BBC Sport website and app. Aston Villa leading by 2-1, and John Duran now is into double figures for the season already for Aston Villa. 10 goals in all competitions, 3 of them have come in the Champions League.
Incredible that, isn't it? I mean, you look at the stat before this game, he was Villa's top scorer in the Champions League, having only played 39% of the time that Villa have played in the Champions League. It's incredible.
Having an incredible season. Here's Noosa on the left-hand side, gets the better of Matty Cash. Leipzig on the attack into the penalty area. Low cross is blocked. Villa appealing for a handball. It hit Noosa while he was on the floor. Referee eventually gives the handball, even though Noosa picked himself up, got another cross in, thought he'd won a corner. Referee took his time to make the decision, gives the free kick to Aston Villa.
Slow by the referee there. Don't really know what he was doing, because it was Noosa who had the handball. He wasn't waiting to see if there was an advantage, because the free kick was against Noosa. Went back to him, and then the referee delayed and delayed. It was a handball. He was on the floor. Used his hand, kept it under his control, and then was able to put it back into the Aston Villa box. Slow and strange decision by the referee. So
Liverpool top of this Champions League table, having made it 6 wins out of 6 earlier on today, beating Girona by 1-0. Mo Salah's penalty in the second half. Aston Villa currently sitting 3rd in the table as it stands, and Real Madrid, trying to move up this table, have got themselves back in front away to Atalanta. Vinicius Jr. has got a second goal for Real Madrid. Atalanta 1, Real Madrid 2. Waiting for the giant table to update in front of me to tell you exactly what that means. That's going to get ever more important as we move through this competition, and particularly for the last couple of rounds of games late in January. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Former England goalkeeper Paul Robinson is with us here in Leipzig. We're with you on air through until 10:30 tonight. All the reaction and analysis, as always, in the Football Daily podcast. Cash's ball, Duran, 3-1. He's done it again. 2 goals on the night. Cash's cross was perfect. Found John Duran, and he is not going to miss from there. Sweet first time finish, and Aston Villa in the Champions League are absolutely flying. Leipzig 1, Aston Villa 3.
Another slick move by Aston Villa. It's Morgan Rogers and Yuri Tielemans in the middle of the park. It's Tielemans, I think it is, puts a lovely ball over the top into the path of Matty Cash. He's still got so much to do. He lets the ball run. He doesn't have a touch. Very clever Matty Cash. The ball comes out of his feet, plays it across the box into John Duran. Side foot, 7 yards out. He ain't going to miss from there.
Is there any chance, Paul, that Matty Cash might have been in an offside position when he ran onto the through ball?
Well, we're about to find out, aren't we?
Yeah.
The stadium's gone quiet while the referee has his hand to his ear, listening to his VAR. We haven't yet seen the replay. There's a chance. His right shoulder, he might have just leaned in behind the defender as the ball was played.
Referee is Maurizio Mariani, the Italian. And it is offside. Leipzig fans cheer, the Villa fans jeer, and John Duran only has 1 goal for the night so far. Villa still lead, but they lead 2-1, not 3-1.
That's a shame, because it was a lovely move by Aston Villa, and that's exactly what they'd have needed to see this game out. Lovely ball through, great cross by Matty Cash.
Awkward one for Villa defenders to deal with here. Openda's gone tumbling. There's an offside flag gone up against Leipzig. So Villa will get a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area, but that was a sort of similar ball to the edge of the Villa box that caused them problems in the first half, where Diego Carlos and Emi Martinez got in a bit of a mess, and that was how Openda got in the first place. 3rd goal for Real Madrid tonight. Really important game for them, and that's a tricky one away to Atalanta, because Atalanta have been going well this season in the Champions League. Jude Bellingham, Paul, has got the 3rd. Atalanta 1, Real Madrid 3.
And that table's looking ever more, well, what's the word? Confusing at the moment. We're still getting used to this new format, aren't we? I'll tell you what, it's thrown us up some big games, hasn't it, this new format of the Champions League.
Here's Morgan Rogers being absolutely wrestled here by Campbell on the edge of the box. Morgan Rogers turned 360 degrees there. Campbell effectively took a piggyback on Rodgers there, and eventually the referee gives the free kick and Villa take it quickly, and Rodgers very nearly got slid in the inside right channel. Leipzig have managed to scramble the ball away. Plenty going on in the second half here in Germany. Half an hour to go in this game, and Aston Villa lead it by 2-1. So Villa currently third in this Champions League table, which is great news for them. Real Madrid with a win tonight would move to 9 points. Celtic are on 9 points after their draw away to Dinamo Zagreb, and Manchester City, who are in our commentary game tomorrow night in Turin away to Juventus, they're on 8 points. Little back heel from Morgan Rodgers. You just see the confidence oozing out of Rodgers with every single thing he does. Paul Robinson, he's won a throw.
And this game's perfect for him now, because Leipzig have to win this game. We spoke about the situation of the table, their poor results coming into this game. They cannot afford to not win this game. A draw's not good enough for them. So the game's becoming more and more open. Leipzig 2-1 down with 30 minutes of normal time to play. There's going to be spaces, there's going to be holes for it to exploit, and Morgan Rodgers is doing exactly that.
Campbell's ball to the left finds the Norwegian Nusa plays it back to the Austrian Zeiwald. His ball forward is headed up in the air by Kamara, tries to collect his own header, then gets onto a ball that was loosely given to him by Leipzig. Duran tries to stroke a pass towards McGinn. It was slightly deflected away from McGinn. Long ball out of the back from Leipzig, finds Openda. Emi Martinez backpedals Openda into the Villa penalty area. Danger for Villa here, floating across to the far post. Volleyed effort is into the far corner, and that is a brilliant counter-attacking goal from RB Leipzig. Christoph Baumgartner with such a clever finish on the right foot volley. Villa thought they were 3-1 in front. Duran's goal ruled out for offside, and all of a sudden it's Leipzig 2, Villa 2.
Well, that's a real sucker punch for Aston Villa, because that is an absolute smash and grab by RB Leipzig. Unai Emery's in our screen, he's got his head in his hands. It's a lovely finish by Baumgartner, but Emi Martinez, he's had nothing to do in this game. He's made a real error of judgment reading the through ball for the first goal. He's just done it again. He stood at the edge of his box. He should come out, deal with that. He doesn't. He allows Openda all the time in the world, floats the ball to the back post to Baumgartner, and it's a fantastic volley by the right midfielder at the back post. Lifts it over Emi Martinez into the far top right hand corner. It's a brilliant finish.
You will know far better than me, Paul, the quality of that finish. It was impossible to hit it hard. He has just caressed that, hasn't he, on the instep, and sort of floated a lob volley over Emi Martinez into the far corner. That is an absolutely brilliant goal.
It was similar to Van Basten-esque, wasn't it? But not struck that way. It was the same type of position, same place. Ball floated across to the far post, and he's caressed it, hasn't he? It's the inside of his foot. He's lifted it back across Emi Martinez into the top right hand corner. Goalkeeper can do nothing with the strike, but again, it's Martinez's reading of the through ball. Yeah,
it's 2 balls from deep for Leipzig, and both times in each half where Villa have been well on top in the game and looked like they were sort of pulling away from Leipzig, and all of a sudden it's 2-2 again. You can see the goals, of course. Champions League on the BBC this season. Mark Chapman will be hosting the highlight show tomorrow night, 10:40 on BBC One. The goals available to watch on the BBC Sport website from 10 o'clock tomorrow evening. That one from Baumgartner is well worth seeing. Plymouth 1, Swansea 2, a latest in the Championship tonight. So Plymouth have got a goal back. Here come Villa. Duran's ball finds Cash. He looks for Rodgers. Good defending by Zeifeld. Blocks the run of Rodgers, pokes the ball away down the left-hand side. And Leipzig keep possession. Here's Zeifeld again, closed down by Rodgers. Ball into midfield, chested down by Baumgartner, who's suddenly popping up everywhere for Leipzig and nearly slides it through to Openda. Well read by Konza, cool defending, intercepted the ball and brings it up towards the halfway line. Tielemans to Rodgers, stabs a pass into space. Konza reacts and runs onto the ball, rolls it across to his captain McGinn. 4 goals in the game so far. Hope you're enjoying it on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. RB Leipzig 2, Aston Villa 2.
Played well, Aston Villa. It's to say that they've conceded 2 goals, but it's been their own doing. It's a really strange place, Ali, but would you like to go inside the mind of a goalkeeper? Because I'll tell you exactly what Emi Martinez did then. That through ball, he didn't come for that because he messed up the first goal. The indecision between him and his centre-back for the first goal, in the back of his own mind there, his first instinct was to retreat back to his line. When that through ball, he should have actually dealt with it. He should have stopped Openda getting there. He was in a great position. He was halfway outside of his box. He was in a really good starting position. But because he made a mess of the first goal, he retreated back to his line and he thought, I'm not going to get in trouble back there. I'm not going to make that decision. And actually the right decision was to go and cut the through ball out.
looking at how this giant table changes all the time, Aston Villa have now dropped outside the top 8 given what's going on elsewhere in the Champions League this evening. So they're back to 9th spot at the moment. If they draw this game tonight, they will be on 11 points. It will continually change. We played 20 minutes in the second half. The attendance has just gone up on the big screens at either end of the ground. Openda chases another ball into the Villa box. Martinez has this one covered this time, lets it bounce, it goes beyond him and goes behind for the goal kick. Attendance tonight just over 40,000. Now this stadium can hold something like 47, 48,000, not full in Leipzig this evening. But the Villa fans have certainly taken their allocation.
We've just seen the first replay of that third Villa disallowed goal, the John Duran goal, and Matty Cash was offside. It is literally half an inch, if that.
Oh, Morgan Rogers gliding run, brings the ball forward, tries to lay it off to Cash, just not quite enough pace on the pass on the edge of the box. The tackle by Campbell is roared by the Leipzig fans. They've given it away. Cash with a little flick, tries to run onto his own flick on the corner of the box, cleared away by Zeifeld. Here's Kamara for Villa. Unai Emery's almost right in his ear there on the edge of the pitch, pointing and shouting and directing. Still going, the Villa manager. Kamara's got the ball. Kamara almost turned and looked at the manager. What do you want? Yep, OK, I'll give it to Tielemans. Tielemans across to Pau Torres. Torres low ball, wide to Luca Dean, back into the Villa midfield, but this is inside the Leipzig half. Villa in the dark blue, Leipzig all in white. Atalanta have a goal back against Real Madrid. Some game that tonight. Atalanta 2, Real Madrid 3. Another one to be watched on the BBC tomorrow. Kamara towards Duran, hits the shot on the turn, gets underneath it, and it goes way over the crossbar. He looks in the mood again tonight, Paul.
Well, I'm just saying they've got an abundance of riches, haven't they, Villa, with Ollie Watkins and John Duran. It's just a real, is it a shame? It's not a shame for other people, for other teams, but how he can't get them in the same team together and play as effectively as they are, because John Duran, I mean, his mental strength to not play every week, and when he does come on and he has the impact and the effect he has, almost to his detriment, because he's such an impact player off the bench, the manager knows that he's got him there, and maybe that's half the reason he sits him on the bench, because he's so good when he comes off it.
Just wonder whether Leipzig are going to tire in this game a little bit, not being able to get a full bench out tonight. Got real injury problems in the squad. Lovely ball there, through from Duran onto Matty Cash, takes it into his stride, tries to hit the shot, defenders caught up with him, the shot gets blocked. Morgan Rogers on the turn, keeps it going for Villa. Strong as well, defenders bouncing off him, lays it off to Tielemans. Tielemans and Kamara exchange passes, central position, about 40 yards from goal for Aston Villa, midway through the second half on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Bayern Munich have a third goal away to Shakhtar tonight. Shakhtar 1, Bayern Munich 3. Again, we'll refresh the Champions League table and tell you what it all means in just a second. Rogers into the feet of Tielemans, scoop ball over the head of Duran, headed away by Herr Troider. McGinn tries to bring that ball down over his shoulder, can't keep control of it. Cleared away up towards the halfway line. Both teams fancying their chances here. Luca Dean wide on the left, swings that cross in towards Duran. Rogers making the run, cleared only as far as Tielemans on the half volley, slices it well wide of the target and behind for the Leipzig goal kick. Leipzig 2, Villa 2.
Yeah, poor strike by Yuri Tielemans. Game's becoming more and more open. As we said, discussed, Leipzig have to win it. Villa are certainly not settling for the draw. They're pressing hard, they're looking to close down, looking to win back possession. And in John Duran, they carry a real goal threat.
Ball is cleared away up towards Šeško. Now he is a real goal threat. Not seen too much of him, only in flashes in this game so far. Powerful centre forward, wears number 30 with the jet black, gel back hair. Here's Campbell. Campbell in his orange boots, the half-time substitute for Leipzig. Back it comes to the halfway line to Orban. Orban across to Zeifeld. Wide it goes to Antonio Nusa, who fancies a run at Matty Cash. Cash backs off. Nusa plays a ball infield to Campbell. He's 35 yards out. Scurries towards goal. Finds Nusa again. Cash blocks his path. Nusa turns away from him. Dribbles out wide to the left. Turns and faces up against Cash again. Low pass to Campbell. Leipzig enjoying a little bit of possession here, and Aston Villa under pressure. Nusa's cross in from the left. Not enough on it. Nodded down into the ground there by Kamara. Nusa gets it again from the clearance. Villa players bunch around him. Nusa trying to wriggle a ball through edge of the box. It comes wide to Campbell. Campbell's cross with the left foot deep to the far post. Dean chests it down into the arms of his goalkeeper Martinez, who immediately bowls it out underarm to try and get Dean away on the counter-attack. John McGinn has to help out. Keeps the ball for Villa. Pass towards Tielemans. Gets half a touch on it. Duran is there. Duran keeps the move going for Aston Villa. And Kamara finds Tielemans.
Be disappointed in Unai Emery because of the problems that they've created for the self, Aston Villa. I mean, you think about Emi Martinez, he's had nothing to do other than the 2 goals. I mean, he's not had a dive. He's not dived in the whole game. Didn't dive after the last goal because it was such a good finish. And the first goal, he didn't have to. He got the decision wrong. So actually, the Aston Villa goal hasn't really come under threat at all this evening.
Aston Villa attacking down the left with John McGinn. McGinn's lost the ball. Leipzig clear from the right back position. Šeško does well to knock that ball down towards Baumgartner. He's stopped in his tracks. Oh, that's great skill from Kamara. 30 yards from goal in the inside left channel across to Rodgers. He finds his path blocked at the moment, tackled, and eventually the ball goes out for a throw-in to Aston Villa on the right-hand side. Slight confusion on the Vidi printer here. It says that Michael Olise has scored a penalty for Bayern Munich, which to my mind would make it Shakhtar 1, Bayern Munich 4. But the Vidi printer is saying 3-1, even though Musiala's goal we thought made it 3-1. So we'll clear that one up for you. While Aston Villa make a change here, Matty Cash is coming off. And coming on is the young Serb, the 18-year-old Kosta Nedeljkovic. Matty Cash had a lot of joy in this game tonight, got himself through on a couple of occasions, and obviously just offside for what Villa was hoping was going to be their 3rd goal.
And that substitution from Unai Emery, I think he must have half an eye on the weekend. There's a like-for-like substitution. He's done really well tonight, Matty Cash. He's had a real impact on the game down that right-hand side.
Reminds me to tell you about our weekend commentaries, 4 of them from the Premier League. 3 o'clock Saturday, we're at Anfield for Liverpool-Fulham. Aston Villa are in the Saturday 5:30 commentary. That's at the City Ground, Nottingham Forest against Villa. And then the 2 on Sunday, Brighton against Crystal Palace. And we've got the Manchester derby in full as well, which kicks off at 4:30 on Sunday afternoon. It is Shakhtar 1, Bayern 3. So the Musiala goal, which is on the Vidi printer, never stood, but it hasn't been cancelled. Michael Olise's is the official 3rd goal. So Bayern Munich heading for a win in the Champions League, and Paris Saint-Germain need a win tonight, and they are now 2-0 up away to RB Salzburg. So Salzburg not having a great Champions League campaign, nor a RB Leipzig. Plenty in the in tray for Jurgen Klopp.
I was going to say, he's got his hands full, Jurgen Klopp, hasn't he? Managing all these teams.
That's right. Starts the job officially on the 1st of January 2025 as Red Bull's global head of football. Here's Nedeljkovic involved for Villa. We've enjoyed this game this evening. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Konza holds off the challenger Campbell, gives it to Rodgers, gliding away from defenders again, slaloming through challenges. Oh, clever. McGinn to Rodgers. Dean hits the shot, and Gulaschi palms it across his goal, and it goes behind for a corner. That was brilliant work from Aston Villa to get that ball from right to left and create the chance for Luca Dean.
Great link-up play, and Gulaschi that time does really well. The goalkeeper makes an excellent save. Again, it's Morgan Rodgers, little interchange with John McGinn on the edge of the box, plays in Luca Dean, left foot, side-footed across the goalkeeper, makes a good save that time.
Can see why Morgan Rodgers plays pretty much every minute, can't you, for Aston Villa? Absolutely vital.
He's imperative to everything that they do.
Exactly, Paul. Paul Robinson with us here at the RB Arena. McGinn takes the corner short. They do this all the time. Tielemans gives it back to him, curling ball to the far post. Gulaschi stretches, gets fingertips to the ball and just flicks it behind for a corner to Villa, who are looking for the win. Currently in the Champions League table, Aston Villa sitting in 9th spot with a draw tonight. They'd be on 11 points. Bayern Munich on 12 points in 6th, but Liverpool comfortably clear, top of the table, 18 points, 6 wins out of 6 after the 1-0 win away to Girona in our first Champions League commentary today. And we've got full commentary of Juventus against Manchester City tomorrow. Now, we've only got 17 minutes left in this game. Whistles from the Leipzig fans as Aston Villa get ready to take another set piece. Tielemans curls it in with his right foot into the near post. That's blocked. It'll come back to Tielemans. Left-footed pass is a simple one to McGinn. He works it onto his right foot, toes it back to Dean. Dean curls the ball into the box. Torres heads it towards the far post, and Gulaschi comes out and catches it.
Doesn't look secure at all, the goalkeeper, for me tonight, Gulaschi. Neither goalkeeper's played well tonight, but Gulaschi, he looks like he's lacking confidence. Again there, he came for the cross, flapped it at the far post. He got away with it, was effective.
Here's Dean, plays the ball down the left-hand side. McGinn has lost it, though. This could be a problem for Aston Villa. Šeško, the centre forward, slides it into the path of Baumgartner, immediately gives it back to Šeško. Šeško lays it off to Zeifel, comes to his left to Nusa. Leipzig happy to knock it around at the moment just inside the Villa half. Taking you back to Erlen Road shortly, where there's been another goal. Emi Buendia's warming up for Aston Villa here. Zeifel to Nusa for the home team Leipzig. Leipzig 2, Villa 2. Back to Zeifel again. Patient stuff from Leipzig here. Ball comes back to Willi Orban, the experienced defender. Herr Troida into midfield. Now Aston Villa have won it, and here they come, sweeping forward in the dark blue shirts. Tielemans slides it through to Duran. The flag stays down. Duran onto the left foot, tries a clever little finish into the corner. The shot is blocked, and suddenly this could turn into a Leipzig counter-attack here. The ball from deep, and that's what Villa have had a problem with. Villa defender goes down. Referee will give the free kick. Let's get to Ellen Road. Who scored there? Mike Maine.
Leeds United back in front. Ellen Road on its feet. Dan James in space right at the penalty area, fired it right across goal. No chance of the goalkeeper. Leeds United 2, Middlesbrough 1. They're going back to the top of the Championship.
Thank you, Mike. That game kicked off at 8 o'clock this evening. We're on air through until 10:30 tonight. Changes coming. Emi Buendia is coming on for the Villa skipper, John McGinn. And I can see that Andre Silva, the experienced Portuguese international forward, is about to come on for RB Leipzig as well. Top 8 teams in the Champions League table as it stands: Liverpool, Inter, Brest of France, Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Atalanta and Bayer Leverkusen, with Aston Villa just outside that top 8 in 9th position.
They'll fancy the chances though, Villa, won't they?
Yep.
What they've got to come, they're away at Monaco and at home to Celtic. They'll look at those as 2 very winnable games, but obviously, as you said, they would have liked to have done some kind of a job tonight. Listen, I don't think a point's a disaster for them tonight.
Andre Silva is on for Benjamin Šeško. We've not seen Šeško tonight. I watched him during the Euros this summer. Hit a couple of absolute long-range rockets with his right foot. Great fun to watch. We've not seen him. He wasn't given the space to do that this evening. Leipzig, having lost their first 5 games in the Champions League, need to win this, and it's still 2-2, and we're into the last 15 minutes of action. Ball here with Diego Carlos, across to Konza for Villa, forward to Rodgers, turns, lays it back into the path of Konza, looks promising for Villa this. Nedeljkovic, sliding challenge on him, who got the last touch on that. I think that's going to be a corner. It is.
Yeah, another corner to Aston Villa. Good play down the right-hand side again. This time it's Nedeljkovic who's come on for Matty Cash. Gets another corner, set play for his team. Without John McGinn now, it's looking like it's Luca Dean who's going to run across and take the corner.
Giant red and white flags continue to wave away to our left. What are you chuckling at?
I just thought, I wouldn't fancy doing that for 90 minutes. I wonder if they swap. Your arms would be hanging
like
off,
Popeye, wouldn't you, by the end of it? After a couple of cans of spinach. Here's Luca Dean, waiting to take the corner for Aston Villa. Dean trots towards the ball in his green boots into the near post. Good delivery, headed wide of the target. Referee's taking his time and is going to give a goal kick to Leipzig, and Villa protest. Luton with a late goal, potentially a winner, important goal for them. Elijah Adebayo scored in the 90th minute against Stoke. Luton 2, Stoke 1, 13 minutes plus added time to play here. Did the referee get that call right? That ball bounced around off a few heads. I think he did, actually. I think the goal kick was the right call. Leipzig have taken that goal kick. 2-2.
Yeah, we had the replay in front of us. I think the referee was more guesswork. If in doubt, give a goal kick.
Leipzig very nearly gave the ball away inside their own penalty area. Back it comes to Gulashi. Clears with his right foot. Great leap and flick on there from Openda. Andre Silva couldn't keep it. Oh, clever from Tielemans. Lets the ball run across his body, and then the pass not quite right. He and Morgan Rodgers not on the same wavelength. Put it into space. Rodgers couldn't run onto it. Villa have it with Konza. He's under pressure just inside the Leipzig half. He's given this ball away. Complains he was fouled. And here's Antonio Nusa for Leipzig, who need the win tonight. Tries the impossible pass. The ball bounces into the path of Openda on the edge of the box. 2 Leipzig players go down, and there's a foul in the end on Silva, and Leipzig do get the free kick just outside the Villa penalty area in a central position.
Yeah, he could have given a free kick twice for 2 different offences there. I think it's Pau Torres in the end who he gives the free kick against, right on the edge of Villa's box, inside the D, on the edge of the 18-yard box. Dead central. It's almost one of them. Is it too close?
Full times coming in for the 7:45 kickoffs in the Championship. First of them, Wayne Rooney's Plymouth have lost at home against Swansea. Plymouth 1, Swansea 2. And late equaliser for Sunderland at home against Bristol City. Patrick Roberts has scored in the 93rd minute. Sunderland 1, Bristol City 1. This is Leipzig 2, Villa 2. And all we've got at the moment is just a whole clutch of players gathered in the D on the edge of the Aston Villa penalty area. The bright orange shirt of the referee somewhere in the middle eventually is going to march the Villa players back. John Duran's got a big smile on his face. He's in there sort of trying to wind a couple of Leipzig players up. Important moments in this game though. Leipzig have to win it to give themselves any chance of qualification. And Aston Villa certainly don't want to lose it. Bit by bit, they are edging towards. They're just outside that top 8 at the moment. They would love automatic qualification for the last 16.
I think it'd be a big season for Aston Villa. There was an incredible season last season, but the question for them this year was obviously balancing the Champions League with their Premier League form and competing on both fronts.
Lois Openda is there, Andre Silva is there, Kevin Campbell is there. I've got a feeling it's going to be Openda, the Belgian, who scored the first tonight. Villa will be really annoyed with both goals they've conceded this evening. Long balls from deep. Emi Martinez has sort of come, then stopped, then gone back, and it's cost Villa a couple of goals. The Baumgartner finish, though, on the volley was quite special. Portsmouth 0, Norwich 0, full-time score in the Championship. This free kick setup is taking a long time. Dark blue Villa wall is about 3 yards behind the penalty spot, and there's 5 or 6 players in that. Openda is going to strike it. Emi Martinez anxiously just moving on his tiptoes just off his goal line. Referee says we're just about ready to go. There goes the whistle. Big moment in the game. Openda with his right foot straight into the wall. Leipzig appeal for a handball. Hertreuder tries to get another cross into the box. Here's Duran in the left back position. Might have got a little poke in the eye there. Goes down and does win the free kick for Aston Villa. Leipzig 2, Villa 2.
Yeah, just gets poked in the eye there, John Duran. Painful one. Poor free kick that from Openda. As we said, it's too close. The referee just booking somebody here for the protests. But yeah, it's the free kick was too close. Hit straight at the Villa wall. The claim for a handball. It wasn't. Very difficult for a goalkeeper. That we're seeing the replay. There's so many bodies in front of you. You can't see. Players try and get the ball up and down. That helps a goalkeeper. If you see it coming over a wall, you can see it. If they smash it hard and low through a crowd of bodies, very, very difficult.
Luton 2, Stoke 1, full-time score in the Championship. Sunderland 1, Bristol City 1 is a full-time. And full-time at Turf Moor as well tonight. Chris Coles.
Burnley 0, Derby 0. Frustrating evening for Burnley, repelled by a very well organised Derby. For all of Burnley's second half possession, they didn't create enough. A Koleosho one-on-one well saved by Zetterstrom, their best effort. An excellent point for Derby, though.
Ball's given away. Openda with the chance, and Martinez makes the save, and he was allowed to make the save. That is a weak finish from Lois Openda. Aston Villa very nearly cost themselves the game. It was a ball from Pau Torres back towards his own penalty area. Openda pounced, just a weak finish straight at the keeper.
What's he thinking, Pau Torres? He looks up, you can see Openda's there, and yet Pau Torres still plays the ball straight to the centre forward on the edge of the box. And as you quite rightly called, Ali, it's a really poor, weak finish from Openda from an excellent opportunity.
Henrichs was the player booked for Leipzig. Leipzig 2, Villa 2. Leipzig come again. Openda hits this one with his right foot, always rising. Martinez jumps, says I didn't get a touch on that. The referee agrees and says that is going to be a goal kick. And just to complete Chris Cole's report for him, because I very rudely jumped in because I thought Leipzig were going to take the lead, it has finished. Burnley 0, Derby 0 tonight in the Championship. 8 minutes of a really entertaining game in the Champions League remaining here in Germany, plus a bit of added time.
And it seems to really be coming to life in the last 5-10 minutes for Leipzig. Said so many times they have to get a result tonight, and they're certainly playing like that now. It's getting very, very wide open, loads of spaces, and they're probably having the best spell of the game at the moment, Leipzig.
Couple of changes coming for Aston Villa. Ian Matson and Ross Barkley are going to come on. As people will well know who listen to us, RB Leipzig aren't the most popular football team in Germany. That was the subject of Tony Livesey's new feature, Floodlit Fact of the Day. It is on Late Night Livesey on 5 Live now. I was asked the question about Karl-Heinz Rummenigge of Bayern Munich offering incentives to clubs and their fans if they could beat Leipzig back in the day. And the offer was for the fans a whole load of... The question I was asked was it Bratwurst, was it Weisswurst, or was it Blutwurst? And I went for Bratwurst and I was wrong, Paul. It was Weisswurst, the white sausage, which is a Bavarian speciality, well, which we've not tried here.
Something that will stick with you forever. You will know that pointless fact for the rest of your life now, won't you?
That's how it works on Floodlit Fact of the Day. Tony Livesey asking the questions to me, John Murray and Ian Dennis. And by the way, the Commentator's View new podcast featuring the three of us is out, up and running. 4th episode we're recording Thursday this week. Your questions are welcome. TCV at bbc.co.uk. Let's concentrate on the Champions League football for now. Leipzig 2, Villa 2. Openda in space on the left-hand side. Villa chasing back in a spot of bother. Openda shoots again. Not convincing from Openda. Had options to try and pass to in the middle. Villa block and they bring the ball away down the right.
That's 3 really good opportunities now for Openda. He's certainly come to life, sprung into life, creating himself little chances, finding spaces, but just hasn't had the finish for either of his 3 opportunities.
I think we're in for a really entertaining finish here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Maatsen cross in from the left-hand side. Both teams really want the win. More important for Leipzig, in a sense, to give themselves any chance. Villa won't want to risk losing the game, but a win would put them in such a fabulous position for potential automatic qualification, going straight through to the last 16 rather than having to play the 2-legged playoff. Here they come, Villa again. John Duran on the turn, edge of the box, looking to slide that pass into Maatsen. Now Barkley, right-footed shot, he slipped, deflected, it's gone in! Aston Villa are back in front again. That is not the sweetest shot that Ross Barkley will ever hit, but goodness me, what a result for him, and what a result potentially tonight for Aston Villa. Ross Barkley celebrates wildly in front of the Villa fans here in Germany. It's RB Leipzig 2, Aston Villa 3.
And those Villa fans that have travelled over here are going absolutely wild in the corner. Villa are celebrating as a team. All 10 outfield players away to our right-hand side, celebrating what looks like a winning goal by Ross Barkley. 25 yards from goal. It's not the cleanest of strikes. He slips as he hits it. It's goalkeeper's going the other way. It hits Campbell on his left shoulder. Sends the goalkeeper completely the wrong way. It's Klosterman. It hits Klosterman. It's a huge deflection. Barkley slips, hits the defender. Goalkeeper wrong-footed. Looks like Villa have got the winner.
3rd goal of the season for Ross Barkley, a first in the Champions League. Unai Emery absolutely loved it, just watching the replays there with him. The goal has come in the 85th minute of the game. So 5 minutes plus added time remaining. Can Aston Villa now hold on to this lead when the Champions League table refreshes? They are going back to 13 points. You're going to have Liverpool on 18, Inter Milan currently on 14, playing this evening. And then Aston Villa will be there on 13 points, as are Brest at the moment. Aston Villa will have the better goal difference. They will be above them in the table. Time to switch on for Aston Villa, because the goals they've conceded tonight have not been clever ones, and Leipzig here are heading for 6 defeats in 6 games in this Champions League.
Listen, they've had a tough draw, haven't they? We've talked about the games that they've played, and they've been in every game. I mean, they lost here to Juve 3-2, lost at Atletico Madrid 2-1, Liverpool won here 1-0, so they've all been tight, they've all been close games, and again tonight.
Leipzig stung into action. Zeifeld's ball into the penalty area. Little turn. Martinez comes out, blocked brilliantly from a very tight angle. The shot is blocked. It was Baumgartner who tried to hit the strike. Leipzig take their corner quickly. No, referee wants them to stop there. What was he not happy with there? Not sure. Leipzig fans don't like it.
That's a really good save by Emi Martinez. We criticised him tonight, but he was off his line sharp there. Cut the angle down and spread himself really well.
Taking the corner quickly, back to Campbell. Oh, space in the penalty area. On the turn, shot is driven. Martinez saves with his left foot. That was real power, and heading for the far corner. Wide open game now. Aston Villa pouring forward on the counter to try and kill it. They lead 3-2. It's 3 against 2. Here's Ian Maatsen. Pokes it into space. Rodgers hits the shot into the side netting. End to end, the score remains Leipzig 2, Villa 3.
Yeah, Emi Martinez has just kept his team, kept the lead. I mean, it was a shot on the angle, left-footed, smashed really hard, low to Emi Martinez's left, goes with it with his boot. I thought he got it wrong. Thought he should have gone with his hand. He doesn't. Goes with his left foot, left boot, starfish style. Makes a really good save.
Thrilling entertainment here in Leipzig. Am I going to trust this? Shakhtar 1, Bayern Munich 4. Jamal Musiala with the goal, says the Vidi printer. I think I am on air through until 10:30 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight. Football Daily podcast there for you much later this evening. First thing tomorrow morning for the commute on the BBC Sounds app. And if you fancy yourself as a budding young commentator, new voices at bbc.co.uk. Record yourself over some top sporting action, doing some commentary, talking myself out of a job here. BBC are looking for a new commentator. Your deadline is Friday the 20th of December, so get stuck into that. Here's Willie Orban, and then you might be able to come and commentate on games like this, which has been brilliant fun tonight. Villa backpedaling again, good skills from Campbell, central position. The ball goes wide here to the left hand side to Nusa. 2 Villa defenders in front of him, bursts through the pair of them, and Martinez gets down by his near post, gets a big right paw on it, and it goes behind for a corner. We're going to get a stoppage of play here because Emi Martinez is down now, holding his right hand, which may have sort of got trapped between ball and post, or he might just be buying a bit of time here, Paul, and slowing everything down.
Know your players. It wouldn't be the first time He does really well on this left-hand side. Noosa cuts in between two Aston Villa players, creates the opportunity for himself, hits a shot down at Emi Martinez's near post. Really good, strong, solid hand. He was going wide, but the Villa keeper couldn't take the chance.
He's okay. He's back on his feet. 90th minute of the game. Villa leading 3-2. That's a good ball into the near post, headed wide of the target. No, Villa defender got a touch on it. Ross Barkley, who looks like he's going to be the match winner for Aston Villa tonight, and what an opportunity they've now got for automatic qualification. Here's Noosa's cross, well blocked on the corner of the penalty area. Comes back to Campbell again, fancies his chances, curling effort over the bar, and behind for the Aston Villa goal kick.
Yeah, Emi Martinez won't mind if the shots stay from that type of distance on his goal. Made 2 or 3 really good saves in a short space of time there. Emi Martinez didn't need to save that one from Campbell. Sails harmlessly over his bar as we enter added time almost.
Late goal for Bayer Leverkusen against Inter. Leverkusen 1, Inter 0. First goal that Inter have conceded in the competition so far. Nordi Mukiele has scored it in the 90th minute. And again, just going to wait for that table to refresh to tell you exactly what that means. 4 minutes of added time at the end of the game. The second half has absolutely flown by in Leipzig tonight, and this could be a big win for Aston Villa, who, don't forget, have already beaten German opposition this season. The famous 1-0 win over Bayern Munich at Villa Park. The long balls from deep have caused them problems. There's one into the Villa half. This time Barkley's in the way of it, knocks it down to Kamara, comes back to Emi Martinez, who's made some important saves actually, Paul, later in the game, but I don't think he'll be too pleased with the 2 goals that Villa have conceded. Duran's flip on nearly finds Morgan Rogers. Surely that's a foul from Rogers. It is. Duran gets onto the loose ball. That'll be a free kick for Leipzig.
Yeah, more of himself in the latter stages of the game. Emi Martinez, he struggled with the through ball, whether it's the lights or whatever it is tonight, but his decision making wasn't right. He was hesitant on both goals. The second one less obvious because he retreats back to his line. He doesn't get involved, but no, he's made a couple of decent saves.
3 minutes remaining in the game. Can Villa see this out? Villa currently sitting 3rd in this Champions League table. Liverpool top on 18 points. Their 1-0 win away to Girona today. But Aston Villa, if they win this, will be on 13, 2 games to go. Morgan Rogers does brilliantly. Carries the ball upfield, draws the foul, stays down, flat on his back. I think he's exhausted rather than actually hurt. And Aston Villa will get the free kick. And Leverkusen, with the win tonight, they will go 2nd in the table. Obviously more games to come tomorrow. Liverpool, Leverkusen and Villa. Leverkusen on 13, Villa on 13, Inter Milan on 13, Brest on 13. That's what this new Champions League is all about, Paul, with a 36-team table.
I seem to remember we had something similar, didn't we, last week in the Europa League with Tottenham. We were going through the table.
Yes, that's right. Club Brugge 2, Sporting 1. Late goal for Club Brugge in the Champions League this evening. Leipzig, desperate for an equaliser. Do not want 6 defeats from 6. But they've got the ball inside their own half. Look at Unai Emery.
Living every minute,
Absolutely.
Isn't he?
He looks so anxious and nervous. Leaning forward, now leans back, hands on hips. Noosa's got away from Nedeljkovic. Gets his cross in from the left. Delivery. Header is well off target. Oh, Matsson's had a swing and a miss. The ball drops inside the penalty area, and the shot is sliced well wide of the target by a Pender, who's had a funny old game for Leipzig tonight. That is going to be a Villa goal kick.
Unai Emery's walking around telling everybody to calm down, trying to tell his players to relax. It's him who's the one that needs to relax at the moment.
Goal at Ellen Road, Mike Maine.
And that will seal it for Leeds. Leeds United 3, Middlesbrough 1. Borough are chasing an equaliser. It peeled away for Leeds on the counter-attack. Tanaka squaring it across for Brendan Aronson. Easy tapping into the bottom corner. Leeds United 3, Middlesbrough 1.
Former Leeds man on my left enjoying that. A couple of Villa fans reminding him last night could have even played for Villa, Paul, had things worked out differently.
Couple of opportunities.
Villa fan knew his stuff, didn't he? Bayern Munich lead 5-1. Big win for Bayern tonight away to Shakhtar. Michael Elise now on the score sheet again. And Paris Saint-Germain have got the win they needed. 3-0 away to RB Salzburg. John Bennett will round it all up for us on 5 Live Sport tonight, on air through until 10:30, and take you through exactly what it means in terms of the table. But from Aston Villa's point of view tonight, leading by 3-2 in the last minute of added time, they are really marching towards potential automatic qualification. Late bit of defending to do. Pau Torres on the ball inside his own half, just happy to hoof it long, left-footed ball downfield, and it goes out for a Leipzig throw. Paul.
That's a clever clearance by Pau Torres. It's into space, it's high up the field. Yes, he's given away possession, but that's all they need this time.
Ball played downfield by Gulacsi, clears it with his right foot. Ross Barkley heads it forward towards the halfway line. Barkley on the score sheet tonight with what looks like it's going to be the winner. John Duran having an impact again. John McGinn with the early goal. Villa players and Villa fans celebrate in Germany. They've got another vital Champions League win, and as it stands in the table at the moment, they are right up there in third position and pushing for automatic qualification to the last 16. Got themselves in front, got pegged back, got themselves in front, got pegged back, had another Duran goal disallowed for offside, and the Ross Barkley winner took a big deflection. Entertaining stuff. What a win, Paul Robinson, for Aston Villa tonight.
It is. It cannot be underestimated, the size of that win. That was a performance and a result that Unai Emery would have wanted from his team tonight. They were outstanding at times. 2 silly mistakes cost them the goals. Other than that, defensively, they weren't really under any kind of threat. Offensively, going forward, they always look like they're going to create. They look like they're going to cause problems. But that, on top of their Champions League campaign, that makes their Champions League campaign thus far a real success. You add that result to the previous results, you see where they're at in the table, gives them a little bit of breathing space now. Away at Monaco, home to Celtic, those games all of a sudden look a little bit easier for Villa, especially when the Villa fans will look at that table.
6 defeats out of 6 for RB Leipzig. Aston Villa the latest to beat them. The story is all about them. John Duran, super sub again with a goal tonight. Ross Barkley with a deflected winner, and Aston Villa are really going to enjoy Christmas and their Champions League campaign so far. Third in the table on 13 points, Monaco away and Celtic at home to finish the campaign. Automatic qualification for that last 16 is very, very close. It has finished tonight in Germany. RB Leipzig 2, Aston Villa 3.
So as Ali has said during commentary, they go into third to Villa. They've got 13 points. They're one of 4 clubs who, as things stand, are on 13 points. All of them 5 behind Liverpool, who won earlier and have a 100% record, played 6, won 6. That feels like a big result, doesn't it, Paul Robinson, for Villa?
Absolutely it does, and you see the players now over with the thousands of supporters in the corner. They're celebrating. It's not only a big result on the scale of the Champions League, it's a big result on the scale of their season as well. You know, to get out of this stage of the Champions League, to get a result, it's not an easy place to come. We know Leipzig are not in great form. Liverpool came here and won 1-0, but they showed a lot of character here tonight, Villa. Going forward, looked very good. Defensive, like we said, created their own problems defensively, and other than that, they didn't look like they were going to concede. But no, a really good performance and a massive result for them tonight.
And also, you know, we talked about all the different options that Unai Emery has in the middle of midfield pre-match, didn't we, when we were talking about Kamara and Onana left on the bench. But that was proved at the end with Ross Barkley getting the winner.
Yeah, Ross Barkley, he's played that role quite often this season, coming off the bench. But you look at the Villa squad as a whole, now he's getting them fit and he's getting them, you know, to match fitness levels. The starting 11 and the bench is looking very, very strong. As you say, Barkley came on tonight, Buendia came on, Duran came on. The options that Unai Emery's got at his disposal. Now with this result, probably allows him to change it up a little bit, you know, in the coming weeks. You mentioned Onana, who's just gone running across to the Villa fans. He's not come on tonight, he's still in his full kit and tracksuit and coat, and he's cheerleading with all the Villa fans.
Yeah, but you can see what it means to the Villa fans, can't you, Ali?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Mark, we've seen plenty of them during our trip here, and I was away for the first game of the campaign, away to Young Boys. Let's not forget, you know, Aston Villa, European Cup winners back in 1982. Last time they played, obviously, in the European Cup at this level of competition is over 40 years ago. They're loving every minute of it. I think they probably did feel quite confident at the start of the campaign, not only because of the football they were playing, but I think the man they've got in their corner in Unai Emery and what he's done in European football in the past. I know not necessarily in this competition, but we mustn't forget he's a hugely experienced manager in the Champions League as well. This is his 9th Champions League campaign. Got themselves off to a flyer, won that first game against Young Boys, then got the really big win at home against Bayern Munich. And this, as you say, Mark, this is a big one tonight, because it just takes them into the break now. Don't have to play Champions League until the end of January. And the 2 games left, Monaco are one of the teams they got from pot 4 of the draw.
Who are having a good campaign. They are.
That's very true. No, that is very true. And then Celtic at home in the final game. But I mean, that's going to be some achievement in itself, Mark. Even if they just make it automatically to the last 16, and then they'll fancy their chances from there, I guess.
Well, they will, but they will fancy their chance of top 8 at the moment.
Yeah.
Paul, given given what's happened with several other, Inter Milan have lost this evening. Admittedly, that takes Bayer Leverkusen on to 13 points, the same as Villa. Brest have won again this evening. They've beaten PSV. They go on to 13. And there are other sides tomorrow, including Arsenal and Monaco, who face each other, and Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund, who could go past Villa, but not many will go past them. They'll fancy a top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. And nobody want to play them in a knockout competition. The way that they play, the attacking options that they've got. Look at the performances in the Champions League. They've beaten Bayern Munich, drawn with Juventus, beaten Bologna, lost to Bruges. Beat Bologna. They've beaten some good teams, so I don't think Monaco or Celtic will hold any worry for them. And then going forward, when they qualify in the top 8, top 16, however they get through, I think there'll be a real problem to teams in this competition.